Welcome into the Rant. I'm Pugs Moran, live from the Kelly Moore Memorial Studios in the beautiful E-Gallery in Dallas's Design District. We do this show every day, Monday through Friday. It's my attempt at doing talk radio for normal Americans. That's right, normal people. Canadians. You can be a Canadian too. You can even be an illegal immigrant. I don't care. Hey, clicks is clicks, yo. You just got to be normal. What do I mean by normal? Well, I'll tell you what. Here's a nice little litmus test for you. Am I normal? Something we all ask ourselves. Are you still invited to your family's Thanksgiving? Huh? If you are, you're normal. Have you ever been escorted off a commercial airline flight because you're creating a disturbance that... Huh? No? If your answer is no, then you're normal. You're normal. I've never been thrown off a plane. No normal person has ever been thrown off an airplane, okay? That's like it right there. Also, have you ever been arrested at a Target because you disapproved of one of the displays? If yes, you ain't normal. Not allowed to listen. So if you said yes to one of those and two to no of them, there you go. You're normal and you can listen. We do the show every day. We break it down into 4 segments. It takes about 2 hours. And the goal here is to get you completely prepped up on what everybody is talking about. And again, normal people's perspectives on what's happening. Now, to that end, I don't get into politics, but oh my God, I got to tell you guys. Oh my God. I watched the first Trump cabinet meeting today at like 11 o'clock this morning or whatever it was. Oh, I've got so many hot takes. I got so many funny observations. I can't though. We don't do that here. Because I don't give a fuck how you voted. And you shouldn't give a crap how I voted. And I'm not going to turn what little wonderful people we have here on this show. I'm not going to turn us all against each other. So my promise to you is that I'm going to try and just talk about stuff that, well, I don't know if we're all agree on, but at least they don't define us, the way that Are You Blue or Red does. So that's the attempt here. Talk radio for normal people. How does it play out? 4 segments. I mentioned those. 4 segments are just simply because I do this show as a stream of consciousness. What that means is, man, Kristi Noem is hot. I'm sorry. I'm a middle-aged white man. I gotta say, I don't know if she can do the job. I just know she looks good in the posters. She looks... Sorry. I just got distracted. They just showed like Kristi Noem, and she's out there. She killed her dog. She's running around cosplaying as like a SWAT team member. She looks hot. Undeniable. All right. 4 quarters, as I said, because it's a stream of consciousness. That's just me talking. See, that, Kristi Noem, was an example of what happens with a stream of consciousness. You can be talking about something, but then something else pops into your head and you just say it. So that's what happens here. And because I do the show that way, I've broken it into 4 categories, just so that I can train my mind to go, okay, I'm in this category. Where am I? Where am I going? It's just a little tool I developed. 4 quarters go like this. The first one is antecedently on this day. That means whatever happened on this day that I find interesting from the past, we're going to talk about. We're going to chop it up. Quarter 2 is birthdays. People having birthdays today. Popular people. Celebrities, if you will. Historical figures. We decide whether or not we wish them a happy birthday or do they suck? Because a lot of times people have birthdays and they suck. So, not the birthdays, the people who are. Quarter 3 is deads. Those are dead people, the people who died on this day. Quarter 3, we just decide where'd they go. Here's what we know about this person. They died on this day. Did they go to heaven or did they go to hell? That's quarter 3. And quarter 4 is everything else. Quarter 4 is everything we need to talk about. All just stuff that's on my mind. Just stuff I want to get off my track. Most of it is breaking or current events driven, right? Stuff that's in the news that people are talking about. But we also do a lot of lifestyle stuff. Here's a lifestyle thing. So I'm a divorced dad, and I have a 15-year-old son who's primarily cared for by his mother and stepdad, who are awesome. We are one united unit. But I decided that, like, okay, so when he was little, every day I would text him, I loved you, right? Every day I love you. And I stopped doing it. And he made a mention of it recently. He's like, you used to text me, you love me every day. And I'm like, what? So now I'm like, oh, that's a challenge. Now I got to do it again. It's hard, you guys. It's hard to, like, last night, 10:19. I just walked the dog. I'm getting into bed. getting ready to take a shower, and I'm like, what didn't I do? And I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta text my kid I love him. I mean, he knows. And we talk on the phone every day, and we shit text back and forth every day. But just this thing, because he mentioned it, because that's how our kids get us. They get in our heads. And they understand if they're smart and if they're good manipulators. I got a smart, good manipulator. He understands what it is that he can say that'll just, be a little offhanded comment, but it'll resonate in his dad's brain forever. And he's put that challenge out there. So now I got to try and say, I love you every day. Trying to be creative with it. Why is this? What are you, like some guy out there going, that's gay? Well, I'm sorry your dad never told you that he loved you, or that you don't tell your dad that you love him. I'm not going to get into that argument with you dimwit alpha males. But yeah, so it's basically just stuff like this. Like, I don't want to show that because I don't know if his number will show up somewhere, but you see it anyway. It's just like for the last 4 days, it's been, I love you. And then he's like, uh-huh. like he's checking the box. Okay, thank you. Appreciate hearing that today from you, Dad. Do you tell your do you still, I'm wondering, I wasn't raised with a father. My father was killed when I was very young. I was raised with a mother, and I was raised with a grandfather and a grandmother. That was it. Those were my parental units. I don't mean to diminish my mother. She was the top dog, don't get me wrong. But there were other parental influences in my life, my grandmother and my grandfather and my grandmother. And I would say it goes without saying that I was loved as a child, but it was said. It was said all the time. And then, you see these houses, these families with, my father never told me he loved me, or what? Or my mother never hugged me. What? What kind of shit is that? That explains a lot. Explains a lot of you broke-ass people walking. I don't mean financially. I mean emotionally and mentally broke-ass people running around out here angry at the world because your dad never hugged you. Well, I'm going to send my son a text every day that says, I love you, till the day I die. That's it. That's the challenge. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard of a challenge. I text every day. I can make that one of my texts. All right. That's it. That's all I got for you. Adam says, my dad didn't love me, so this is why I am the way I am. All right, let's break that down. I don't know your family relationship. I mean, I've heard tell of tale over the years, so I can pretty much place it together. But I think that your therapist would tell you that you have convinced yourself that your father didn't love you based on your experience with him. However, it is very possible that he loved you very much. He was just the cycle. He was just another person who didn't know how to show love. There you go. And he was maybe a dick about it. Maybe, I don't know. Look, I'm not going to get into your, but that's a terrible thing to say. I'm sorry to hear that. Although it's not surprising. You've talked about your father and your relationship with him many times over the years. Let's see here. Peter says, don't ever take your children for granted. And then the letter B. I don't know what the letter B is, but probably means something. That's a very important thing. I think that's the way it needs to be phrased. You as a parent should never take your child for granted. But if your child takes you for granted, you've done an amazing job. I'm sorry, but that is just the baseline for kids. If a kid takes his parents' love for granted, then that means it's ubiquitous. That means it's everywhere. That means whoever these parents are, they filled this kid. And I know it sucks. My kid takes me for granted. Well, stop being so deep in your own ego. Okay? That's a good thing. Your kid taking you for granted. It means all kids need to be loved and need to feel loved. And when they're not, they become a certain kind of kid, and you know that. But a kid that's well loved and well behaved, that's good parents who are probably taken for granted. Those are kids who roll their eyes at everything their mom says, and maybe don't do that for dad, because dad wields a bigger stick around the house, I'm sure. But you know what I'm saying? So that's a good thing. I've always thought it was a good thing. I want my kid to take me for granted. Take me for granted. Just always know that no matter what, I'm going to love you, and that I'm going to be there with your best interest at heart. That's taking a parent for granted. Parents should never take a kid for granted, though. Well said, Peter. Well said. Adam has more. Adam says, my dad said that he didn't have the tools to express how he wanted to raise me right. He's also a narcissist, so it's hard for him to understand and accept his shortcomings. Well, narcissism can be a good thing. We all have to believe in ourselves. But yeah, if you don't know how to manage your emotional responses to certain situations that life deals you, you're going to look bad. When it all comes out in the wash, you're going to look bad. So have that emotional awareness and have that control. I always say it's like you got to throw a saddle on your ego. The ego controls all your emotions. 100% of your emotional responses are driven by ego. That's just how it works, man. So the ego. People think ego is. A lot of my therapy was ego work. That's like a way. So I'm very aware of like ego management and all that kind of stuff. But ego isn't just. He thinks he's so hot. He has a big ego. Everybody thinks that's just what ego is. Ego is the most important thing. So if we can manage our egos, we can then get in touch with, maybe our accelerated narcissism or whatever else it is. I don't know. I don't want to get into a whole therapy thing here. You know me. I love me my therapy. Let's say hi to the chat room. Who do we have today? We've already said hi to Peter and Adam. We've got Al in the chat room. He was the first guy in. Going to give him credit there. Thank you, Al. We got Barney. Yeah, we need to mention Barney. You know why? Because every day on this show, we award the title of executive producer, and today's executive producer is none other than the great Barney. Oh! All hail Barney. Thank you so much, man. Barney was the only tipper yesterday. Yeah, so by default, he won. See, it's not hard to be producer of the day. I say that if you want to be the producer of the day, you have to be the biggest tipper. But more often than not, and I mean every day, all you got to do is be the only tipper, because this show doesn't do much. No. We are not a very popular show, but we do it every day for 3 years. All right, let's get started here. Hi, Mama B. Mama B's here. Adam's father's dead. So there you go. Hi, Jen. Jenny Connolly is listening live today. I love that. Hi, Jen. All right, what do you say we get started? Let's give Jen a show. She's listening live. Let's do it. It is the 26th day of February, year of our Lord 2025. Oh. February 26th is the 57th day of the year. Did you know that there's 308 of these remaining in the calendar year? So get those New Year's Eve plans started. Now, quarter one, antecedently on this day. These are the events. Hold on, what are we looking at? Coast to coast warmth. I got it, I got a TV on showing me the news. I don't know what this story is. It looks interesting. Stay focused, Pugs. Here we go. Antecedently on this day, in the year 1616. Yeah, we're going way back on this one. In the year 1616, Galileo Galilei. By the way, can I just say, badass name. Badass name. Dude was born a Galilee, and they went, we need a really cool name that rolls, that will be remembered throughout time. And they went with Galileo Galilei. That's a good name. I'm surprised there's not a cornerback in the NCAA named Galileo Galilei Jones, right? Come on, let's make it happen. All we need is one. All we need is one superstar Galilee, and then we'll have another Jalen situation on our hands. Where 20 years later, every other player we root for is named Jalen. Let's get that done, Galileo Galilei Jones. On this day, Galileo Galilei is formally banned by the Roman Catholic Church for teaching or defending the view that the earth orbits the sun. It's religion for you. Look, I oftentimes feel, I don't bash religion. I'm a man of, I'm a seeker, I guess. I guess that's the way you say it. I was raised in broken Catholic. They broke me. The whole Catholic, they break you. You have to work on that. I digress. Anyway, I'm usually more comfortable talking about Catholicism because that's my background and that's where I came from. But all faiths in general, I don't begrudge any man that needs. Life is hard, man. We all have things, right? I lean on tools that I learned in therapy, right? That's like my Bible. Some people, they find that calm and that peace and that poise in reading the Bible and praying and all that stuff. And that's good. But organized religion has always been Absurd. Well, come on, man. Galileo Galilei, he was excommunicated from the Roman Catholic Church. He was thrown in prison because he was a scientist, because he saw something that other people hadn't seen before, and he talked about it, and that must mean he's a witch. That's groupthink, and that's religion. 1616, on this day, Galileo Galilei is formally banned by the Roman Catholic Church from teaching or defending the view that the Earth orbits the sun. Antecedently, on this day in 1815, one of the most coolest events in world history that I'm aware of, right? You always have to have that caveat. There's a lot of cool shit that happened in the world that I have no idea about. I read Wikipedia every day. Every day I come across something and I'm like, that is cool. I didn't know that happened in this world. It was on this day in the year 1815 that Napoleon Bonaparte escapes exile on the island of Elba. This is I'm a bit of a Napoleon guy. I like Napoleon. I like the stories about Napoleon. He was like the most charismatic son of a bitch the world had ever seen. And on this day in 1815, is the prime example of what a charismatic dude Napoleon Bonaparte was. So he had the empire, and then they all got mad because it was just like war. And they said, we don't want you to be the emperor anymore. So they overthrew Napoleon and they stuck him on the island of Elba. And they said, we can't kill you because you're still kind of popular. And people would be really mad if we killed you. But they're all like, he needs to go away. So they put him on the island of Elba. They built him a house. It was a nice place. And it was just him. He was all alone with like 20 guards. They had 20 guards on the island that were there to make sure that Napoleon didn't escape. Well, guess what? Over the course of a period of time, Napoleon was a rock star. Okay, these guards were like dudes who were townies. They lived in town, and now all of a sudden they're playing poker with Napoleon at noon on a Tuesday because they're his guards in exile. He won them over. And those guards would go back to the mainland when their shifts were done or whatever. Those guards would go back to the mainland, and they raised an army for him. That's how he escaped exile. He won over his guards, who then went out into the countryside and raised an army. And Napoleon marched, and he came back, and it was the return of Napoleon. There he is. The Corsican corporal, isn't that what they called him? On this day in 1815, man, Napoleon Bonaparte talked his guards into saying, you should let me go and let me be king again. And they were like, okay. On this day in 1919, President Woodrow Wilson signs an act of Congress establishing the Grand Canyon National Park. Hoo-yah! And then on this day in 1929, President Calvin Coolidge signs legislation establishing the Grand Teton National Park. National Park Day around here. I like the national parks. I don't think I've been to many of them. I've been to where have I been? I've been to the Grand Canyon. But I was really young. That's just hold on. I went down the wrong pipe. I was young. When I went to the Grand Canyon. So it's like, it's not even, I can't even. I mean, technically, yes, I've been there, but I don't remember it. Yeah, I guess that's it. I think the Indiana Dunes Beach, I think that's a national park. I think that's one. Okay, so obviously, I've been to the mall on Washington. That's a national park. Those aren't real national parks. You know what I mean? A national park is like Yosemite, Yellowstone, Grand Teton, that kind of thing. Or what was the other one? What was Grand Canyon? Those are the big ones. Those are the real ones. I don't know. Anyway, it's a great documentary about the parks, national park system done by Ken Burns. I know it doesn't sound all that interesting, but weirdly enough, I was fascinated by it. On this day, 1929, Calvin Coolidge creates Grand Teton National Park. 10 years after, Woodrow Wilson creates the Grand Canyon National Park. On this day in 1993, that's right, we're going to jump ahead. The first World Trade Center bombing in New York City, a truck bomb parked below the North Tower of the World Trade Center explodes, killing 6 and injuring over 1,000 people. I remember that. I was working in radio, and I was delivering pizzas in the afternoon, and I remember, I want to say this happened around 2:00 in the afternoon. It doesn't matter. Anyway, there you have it. The first time they tried to blow up the World Trade Center. 1993 on this day. In 95 on this day, the UK's oldest investment banking institute, Barings Bank, collapses. Second largest investment bank in England collapses after a rogue securities broker named Nick Leeson loses $1.5 billion by speculating on the Singapore International Monetary Exchange. Use futures. He was dealing in futures contracts. Have you ever seen this? They made the movie. The only reason I talk about this is because they made the movie. Is really good. It's called Rogue Trader. It's like from 1999 or 2000. You got to go back to find it. Rogue Trader is the story of this guy, Nick Leeson, and how he, because of his gambles, took down the second. Oh, it's good. Huge investment banking. But it's one of the reasons why I hate Wall Street. Rogue Trader. You got to watch that. One dude all coked up and with prostitutes can just take down an entire institution and destroy people's lives from corner of the globe to corner of the globe. Because that's what happened here. People lost everything because this coked up loser in Singapore. Anyway, on this day, that happened in 95. Barings Bank collapses because of the crazy futures dealings of Nick Leeson. On this day in 2012, 17-year-old African-American student Trayvon Martin is shot to death by neighborhood watch coordinator George Zimmerman in an altercation in Sanford, Florida. How's your programming out on this? Because years have passed, right? I mean, there was a lot of hot discussion. Everybody took a side. Everybody's forced to take a side, right? So here we are. How many years later? 2012, 13 years later in 2025, Trayvon Martin. What was he, like a kid? He was like a teenager, right? Was it 17-year-old? Okay, so he's a 17-year-old kid. George Zimmerman's an asshole, okay? He's just an asshole. He's like, hey, I'm going to be that guy. And I don't know what Trayvon Martin was getting into, but it didn't matter. He didn't need – what a fucked up situation. That was the first one, though, right? That wasn't Trayvon Martin like the first one. And then there were all these other ones that came after that were just terrible. Or was it the Michael Brown in St. Louis one? Was that one for – I don't know. And then there was the guy that was the George Floyd. Oh my God, there's so many of these. They became a big cause. They became a thing. Anyway, on this day, I think this was the first one, right? Like ground zero of this whole era where we live in, where cops are killing everybody. Right? Ground zero on this day in 2012. 17-year-old Trayvon Martin is shot and killed by George Zimmerman. I always thought that guy was such a douche. All right, let's do birthdays. Quarter 2 birthdays. George Zimmerman always reminded me of the weird slobby guy who lived in the apartment complex or for some reason had like a tiny little white dog. I know it's a little specific. I'm drawing on one guy, but George Zimmerman always reminded me of this guy, this weird creeper guy who lived in this apartment complex, and he used to stand in his front window with the drapes just kind of half open so you could see him there, but I think he thought he was hiding, and he would be in his underwear and a t-shirt holding a white dog. It was weird. That's who George Zimmerman was to me. Anyway, I'm sure he's a hero to our executive producer, Barney. I'm sure he's a hero to you, Barney. Or Byron or whatever. I don't know. Zimmerman's a douche. All right, let's keep going. Here we are. Let's go. Are we done? Oh, I think that's it. Let's do birthdays. All right, let's do birthdays. Buonum, buonum, buonum. They claim it's their birthday. I don't know. Maybe. It's what their publicists put out there anyway. I haven't spoken to their mothers. On this day, I love this one. This is I always like to bring this up because I don't think we think of it this way. On this day in 1829, I'm going to say the world's biggest fashion designer. I'm saying he's a fashion designer. On this day, fashion designer founded in the company. It was on this day in 1829. What do you think an 1829 fashion designer was like? I know we all think there were no gays back in 1829, but there were, and they were designing fashion. Imagine it's 1829 and you're a man. You're a man in 1829 America, and you tell your dad you want to be a fashion designer. How do you think that's going over? Everybody else is in the coal mines or, fighting Indians, and this guy, 1829, he wants to be a fashion designer. All right, I'm just saying. So it's Levi Strauss. Levi Strauss, who I think is the world's most famous and most important and most accomplished fashion designer. It was on this day in 1829 that Levi Strauss, a German-American fashion designer, founded Levi Strauss & Company. So here's the thing about Levi Strauss. Like, what do we know about Levi Strauss other than he was a fashion designer in 1829? Well, this is weird. Here's a little bit from his biography. Levi Strauss was never married. No, he wasn't. Died in San Francisco. His estate was worth $300 million or $30 million at the time of his death in 1902. So you want to know what $30 million in 1902 was? It says here the equivalent to about $1 billion today. So he was a billionaire. His nephew took over the company after he died. So, I don't know what you think about dungarees or denim or Levi Strauss and his place in fashion, but he is I think the most famous fashion designer of all time. Levi Strauss changed the world. We still wear his shit, but also never married. So fashion designer, fashion designer, I guess, no matter what the century. Here's the other cool thing about jeans. You ever wonder about when did jeans come in? Because jeans are, well, I'm going to say ubiquitous again. I've already said that once. I like to use fancy words twice in the same show, but here we are. Jeans are everywhere. We all wear jeans. I'm Gen X. Gen X grew up in jeans. We had nothing but jeans, right? So when did that start, though? Your grandpa didn't wear jeans. Your grandpa didn't go to school wearing jeans. He didn't. His dad didn't. So when did jeans become a thing, right? We think of like cowboy pants. Well, they were designed originally. That's what Levi Strauss did. Levi Strauss did all this in San Francisco. There was a lot of people moving to the West Coast in San Francisco, right? So this was like the gold rush time, the 49ers. So who were the people that were rushing there? The people who were going to be working hard in the hillsides. They needed tough clothes. They needed pants that didn't just tear as easily as regular cotton pants. So Levi Strauss came up with, and this is his patent, and this is his invention, and this is why, although there were blue jeans before, there were never Levi's. He invented rivet stitching. Rivet stitching! In pants, because they would hold together stronger because they were riveted in as opposed to just being, held together with cotton. So that was it, rivet stitching. But blue jeans, the entire time that he was alive and well after his death, blue jeans were not something that everybody wore. Blue jeans were something that coal miners wore, poor people wore. Tramps wore blue jeans because they had to wear the same pants 10 days in a row, that kind of thing. They didn't get popular. Nobody wore blue jeans until Marlon Brando wore a pair of blue jeans in a movie in 1950 something, The Wild One. And then that was followed up with James Dean wearing blue jeans in Rebel Without a Cause. And it was because of those two movie roles and those two movie stars and the influence on youth culture that blue jeans suddenly became everything that we wear. And it was on this day that Levi Strauss was born, 1829. All right, let's see here. On this day, born in 1852, how about John Harvey Kellogg? John Harvey Kellogg, he was a surgeon who was obsessed with wellness, with getting people well. And so he invented cornflakes. And that's weird, right? Because corn is like a garbage vegetable. Corn isn't even a vegetable. Corn doesn't do anything. That's why it doesn't dissolve in our poop, because our body is like, yeah, we don't need any of this shit. None of this shit is good. We're just going to funnel this stuff right out into your poop. Anyway, corn. Kellogg's cornflakes. On this day, 1852, the guy who invented cornflakes was born. On this day in 1916, the great one, Jackie Gleason, American actor and singer. He's awesome. I don't know that Jackie Gleason's going to be remembered. I don't know that my 15-year-old knows who Jackie Gleason is. And it's just because a 15-year-old today isn't going to watch 5 minutes of The Honeymooners. They're just not. Looks like a black and white stage play, right? They're going to be like, what? No CGI, no nothing in this. So I don't know. But that's too bad. One of the great ones, born on this day in 1960. Another one of the great ones, born on this day in 1932. He's not going to be forgotten. My 15-year-old thinks this guy is super badass, and I think that is one of the coolest things about my 15-year-old and his taste in music and culture and whatnot. Johnny Cash, born on this day in 1932, the Man in Black. Born on this day in 1953, the opposite of Johnny Cash, Michael Bolton. Michael Bolton. He was just handsome, right? And it could sing, right? That was like, he had like a weird husky voice, and he was really handsome, even though he had a seriously receding hairline that he tried to distract us by growing a really long mullet. That was his thing. He had nothing here. He had a whole bunch back here. Michael Bolton, born on this day in 1953, born on this day in 1971. Let's celebrate for one of the queens of Dallas, Erykah Badu. American singer, songwriter, producer, and actress. I had one time I had a run. Okay, so I'll tell you. So I was dating Erykah Badu, background singer, for a period of time. I went for a couple of weeks. She was awesome. She was. I mean, obviously not awesome because it only went for a couple of weeks. But I was at a party and Erykah Badu was there, and I was promised Andre 3000 was going to be there. He was not, but Erykah Badu was, and never talked to her. Never really got close to her. She was just kind of there. She looked very elegant. She carries herself like a queen, in whatever. Erykah Badu, born on this day in 1971. American singer, songwriter, producer, actress. Born on this day. No, these are deads. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, that's going to do it, guys. That's it. That's it for the birthdays. Erykah Badu. The last one we're going to do is Badu, born on this day in 1971. How about dead people? Here are the people who died. Here are the people who died. We're going to tell you about them. We'll give you their name. We'll talk a little bit about what we know about their contribution to the world, and then decide based on that, where'd they go, heaven or hell. Dead on this day. Ugh, did I lose it? Yeah, I lost it. All right, here, I got to do this. Sorry. This is just for my own personal edification. I did something wrong in my notes today. All right, here we go. Here are the deads. Dead on this day in 1839, Sybil Ludington. Do you guys know who Sybil Ludington is? Okay. So we don't know who Sybil Ludington is. And there's a number of people. How about Israel Bissell? Do we know Izzy Bissell? Do we know Sybil Ludington? We don't know these people. History has forgotten these people. Luck of the draw, I guess. Who were these people? These were the other people that rode along the countryside and out into the frontier, or wherever. Frontier, Jesus. You know what I mean? The British are coming. The British are coming. The dude who gets credit for it is Paul Revere, but he was one of 18 riders. There were 18 of these dudes that were sent. Why did Paul Revere become the famous one? Well, because they wrote a poem about him like 50 years later. 50 years later, a poem appeared in like the Saturday Evening Post called The Ride of Paul Revere. And then, we grow up thinking there was just one guy and it was just Paul Revere. No, it was also a 16-year-old girl who was born on this day in 1839 named Sybil Ludington. She died on this day in 1839. She was born in 1761, so that would have made her wet in 1776. 15-year-old Sybil Ludington, American figure of the American Revolutionary War, rode the... All right, how about Israel Bissell? We ever hear about Israel Bissell? Now, there's a lot of Jewish people out there that'll tell you that Israel Bissell is simply forgotten because he's Jewish, because anti-Semitism back then was much crazier than it is now, and it's pretty crazy these days. Israel Bissell, also spelled Bissell, was a patriot and a post rider who delivered mail between Boston, Massachusetts, and New York. On April 19, 1775, British forces fired on colonialists in Lexington and Concord, inciting the American Revolutionary War. Bissell was assigned to alert American colonialists of the news and rally them to assist the Massachusetts Minutemen. Yet we only hear about Paul Revere, not Izzy Bissell, Israel Bissell, or today's dead on this day, Sybil Ludington. Going to heaven, by the way. We're going to put Sybil Ludington in heaven. Died on this day in 1839. History forgot her, and we need to remember her. She was a 15-year-old girl. We threw on a horse and said, save America. And she did her part. Dead on this day, wow. We're going to jump this fast? Okay, here we go. Dead on this day in 1994. I'm going to go through the heaven and hell thing with this guy, because this guy's very important to me. I consider him the greatest stand-up comedian to have ever lived. He died on this day in 1994. His name was Bill Hicks. If you don't know who Bill Hicks is, I envy you, because now you get to check all of that stuff out. Bill Hicks died of stomach cancer. Bill Hicks influenced everybody. I mean, I can't tell you how many comedians that I see still to this day, new young comedians, and I'm like, oh, he's doing Bill Hicks. Okay, all right, I got it. Where does Bill Hicks go? Does Bill Hicks go to heaven, or does Bill Hicks go to hell? Bill Hicks was a very angry guy. Bill Hicks was a guy who was very bitter, very jaded, but also incredibly smart, brilliant, like a conversationalist that just could blow your mind. mean. He was not nice to people. He was an awkward guy. He didn't think that he was anything special, and he sort of resented anyone who thought he was special. Kind of the Groucho Marx thing. Wouldn't want to belong to a club that would have him as a member. I don't know. But God, Bill Hicks said some things. Bill Hicks changed. There's probably about 5 people that I can point to in my life that changed or radically altered the way I saw the world. Bill Hicks is one of them. So for me, I'd put him in heaven. Yeah, we're going to stop there. I'm putting Bill Hicks in heaven just because on the off chance that I go there, I'd like to meet him someday. I mean, I actually did get a chance to meet him back in the 90s. He was very close friends with Kevin Matthews, who was my first producer in radio. So I've actually seen Bill Hicks live and sat in a room with him and talked to him. Wouldn't pretend to know him that well, but it's too bad. All right. Anyway, Bill Hicks, I'm putting him in heaven. The great Bill Hicks, dead on this day in 1994. Now we've got 2009, casket cousins, we'll call them. When we have 2 people born on the same day of the same year who both become celebrities, we call them umbilical cousins. So if we've got 2 celebrities who die on the exact same day, we'll call them casket cousins. We got casket cousins here. Now, this is maybe not something that you guys will be aware of, but I am. You know me. I am a Chicago sports fan. This is one of the saddest days in Chicago Bulls history. Chicago Bulls, the NBA franchise representing the Windy City. Chicago Bulls are my favorite NBA team, and I like to think of myself as a bit of a historian. I know quite a bit about the team from their roots. I was a producer of Chicago Bulls basketball during the championship run era of the 1990s. I was a fly on the wall of a lot of things. It's a very near and dear thing in my heart. I don't talk about it all that much because honestly, I can't believe how close as a kid I was allowed to get to Michael Jordan. I just can't believe that I could crawl on the floor underneath the bench during a game, stringing cable or bringing somebody a cup of coffee. I couldn't believe it. And I'd look up and I'd see it was just, so I can't even believe it. But that is one of, that's for the book. That's my Bull stories. But it was on this day in 2009, and this is why I say this is an incredibly sad day. It was on this day in 2009 that the Chicago Bulls family lost 2 absolute legends on the same day during the season. It was on this day in 2009 that Johnny Red Kerr passed away. Johnny Red Kerr is the Harry Carey of basketball in Chicago. Johnny Red Kerr was the first coach of the Chicago Bulls back in the 1960s when they first became a franchise. Johnny Red Kerr was their first coach. And then he would go on to be the voice of the Bulls for my entire life. Michael Jordan, Michael would do his famous thing when he was getting ready to check into the game. He would come over to the scorer's table. He'd put some chalk on his hands, and then he put his hands right in front of Johnny Red Kerr's face, and he'd clap the chalk all in Johnny's face. It was a bit, and it was great, and we loved it. Johnny Red Kerr is a god in the history of the Chicago Bulls, and he died on this day in 2009. He was the play-by-play guy. He was the guy that, Jordan brings it up court. He was that guy. Very same day, within a couple of hours in 2009, the Chicago Bull family also lost legend Norman Van Leer, who incidentally, we told you about Johnny Red Kerr, who was the play-by-play guy. Norman Van Leer, Stormin' Norman, was the host of the post-game show. In one day, 2 incredible legends from this team passed away on the same day in 2009. Johnny Red Kerr and Stormin' Norman Van Leer. I didn't know Johnny Red Kerr. I mean, I had met the man and stuff, but he didn't know my name or anything. Norm Van Leer, I was his producer. I produced that Bull. I was one of those guys. I mean, Norm Van Leer told me more about the NBA in the 70s and 80s than I could learn anywhere else. He had stories, man. He had stories. Do you know how crazy the NBA was in the 70s? Do you know that everybody was coked up for every game, every single night? Every single night. Norm had stories, man. Norm Van Leer, what a gentleman. What a great, fun guy. And, of course, Johnny Red Kerr, both of them. I'm putting them both in heaven. Dead on this day. Chicago Bulls royalty, Johnny Kerr and Norm Van Leer. Also dead on this day, we're going to put him in heaven just because we all liked him. He died on this day in 2017. It's kind of a shock to me this morning when I was putting this together. I'm like, that dude's dead? And I'm like, yeah, that tracks. he should. Yeah, he's probably should be dead. Dead on this day in 2017, Judge Joseph Wapner of the People's Court. When that show start, like in the 80s? It makes sense. Like when that show started in the 80s, wasn't Wapner already like a retired judge? Wasn't he already like 70 when that show started? Anyway, we're putting him in heaven. Judge Wapner. There we go. All right, folks, that's going to do it for the first 3 quarters of today's show. Excuse me. We're going to get into the 4th quarter now. One more time, I want to remind you, we do have an executive producer today, and he's one of the greats. He's our friend Barney. He's always there for us. Barney is our executive producer. If you want to be tomorrow's executive producer, all you got to do is be the big tipper of the day, or just, let's be honest, the tipper of the day. It's not that hard to win it. So all you got to do is drop a little something, find the Venmo, the Cash App, whatever it is, drop it in, support the show. Thank you to Barney. Appreciate you, Barney. Let's see here. I know you've been sworn in and I've read your complaint, says Bill Falk. That's right. That's a good t-shirt. No, it's not. It's not a good t-shirt. The problem is I'm 55. That's a good t-shirt. Oh my God. My friends at the old folks home will get a kick out of that t-shirt. No one else will know what it means. I know you've been sworn in and I have read your complaint. Thank you, Judge Wapner. All right, let's get into all of the things that are happening today. All right, here are the hot topics as they go. Boom. First one, Pope Watch. He's still alive. Huzzah. Pope is still alive. Boot and rally. That's what I keep saying, man. That's all he's got to do. How old is he? I don't even know. He's old. He's the Pope. He's been sick. He's got double pneumonia. He was going through organ failure over the weekend, but now they're like, hey, actually, you know what? I've got to be honest with you. Hold on. Should probably check this out. Just let me just Google Pope real quick. Let me see what the absolute latest is. Pope continues to show slight improvement. This comes from the Vatican News. Pope Francis's complex health crisis triggers wave of prayers and uncertainty. Pope Francis is in critical but stable condition. Pope Francis sits upright in an armchair as Argentines in Rome pray for his recovery. That's big news. That's just 3 hours ago. Okay, that's the most recent one that I'm seeing here. The Pope is sitting up. I mean, I don't know what the Pope does every day, but that's pretty good. Sitting up. That sounds like something a Pope should be able to do. Sitting up. All right, so there you go. We're going to be continuing our Pope watch. Again, I recently watched Conclave, so I'm all about getting the Conclave started. I'm all about, let's go. Let's get into this in real life so that I can watch the coverage and then actually have some sort of frame of reference for what it is that's going on behind those doors with the sequestered cardinals voting and stabbing each other in the back and all that good stuff. All right, the other big story, well, there's a big story here in Texas. We got a couple here from Texas. Measles. The measles situation is it's worse. Yesterday I was like 94. Today it's 130. 130 is the latest number of confirmed cases in both Texas and New Mexico. But that's like 124 in Texas and like 6 in New Mexico. Yesterday, I told you about the story. If you were at Texas State University or the campus Twin Peaks restaurant on Saturday between like, let's just say 10 in the morning and 8 o'clock at night, you get checked for measles right now, buddy. You get your butt down there and you get checked for measles because apparently somebody was floating around Twin Peaks giving measles to everybody with their hot wings. That was yesterday's story. Today's story is, well, look at this. For the first time in 10 years, we have a confirmed measles death in the United States. First one died. Measles, first one died. Was it a Texas one who died? I'm not sure. We've got 18 people currently hospitalized in Texas. Most of them are children and babies. Oh, that doesn't move the needle. Well, you know what? Old people with COVID, it was the old people who were the first wave, right? The first line of defense against COVID seemed to have been our grandparents, and they all died, and we were all like, well, you know, I was waiting on that inheritance anyway. So that didn't move the needle. Now we got measles, and now it's like 18 hospitalized. They're almost all kids and babies. Is that going to move the needle? I don't know. Who knows? Here's what I don't get. Here's what I don't understand about this whole Texas measles thing. I'm seeing from some of you people, you're like, yeah, but that's in the Mennonite community. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? I don't give a shit what these people pray to. I don't care what I don't give a shit what their denomination of choice is. What does that matter? I just don't understand that argument. These are fucking people who are spreading measles. Let's get it under control. Let's stop dicking around. Stop the measles. We had no measles in 1980, measles was eradicated from the face of the earth. And then, starts to creep back in. First measles death in 10 years. A person died. The person in 2015 who died too, by the way, was a researcher working on measles. So he was actually, this is the first civilian out there running around catching measles and is now dead. By the way, a couple of things about measles, because I was a little bit worried. I'm like, well, I know I'm all I didn't know that I was vaxxed for measles. I'm like, am I vaxxed for measles? I mean, I'm a Gen X kid, so I know I got the rubella and the mumps, and I got all of that stuff, right? And I've had chicken pox. So I guess if you've had chicken pox, you can't get measles. Am I stupid? Is that something? I know if you get chicken pox, you can't get it again, or it's very rare, but if you also can't get measles, I don't know, whatever it is. But those vaccines that we got as kids back in the 1970s, we got them when we were 4 years old, and then we got them again when we were 10 or 11 or something. Remember the big booster lumps that we'd have on our arms from the booster shot? Those are still good, right? That's why I don't have measles. Or is it because I had chicken pox? I don't know. But those are good, right? We were vaccinated as kids, so we're good. So it seems to me that most people, because the vaccination thing in 1978 wasn't that big of a deal. I think most people are vaccinated against measles. Is that a thing? It's just kids. It's just our kids. It's our job. We went, see, there you go. We took being vaccinated for granted. We're like, well, I had it against my will at 8 years old. I'm not letting my kids get vaccinated. And now they're all getting measles. Now we got a measles outbreak. Whatever. Hey, you know what I say? And this is what you all say too. If it doesn't hurt me personally or somebody that I love, it's not a real thing and I don't care about it. And it's probably just a liberal scam, right? That's everything that doesn't affect you personally. All right, measles. 18 hospitalized, most children and babies. First death. The first death in a decade from measles has occurred today. That's the breaking news. So I told you today that I was watching the Trump cabinet press conference. I was a little disappointed. I didn't see the fearless leader roundtable where they all went. Remember the first time he assembled his cabinet? And they all went, I just want to say before anybody gets started that I like this dude fucking more than everybody else in this room. And then the next guy went, nah, fuck that, man. Trump, you're my bitch. I love you, man. And then the next person went, I just want to say that there are 3 people in this world who I love. My husband, my God, and Trump. They all went around the room and they all did it. It was the most humiliating thing. But these people have no shame. Remember, the other day I was talking about the difference between self-awareness and shame. You can be self-aware and just have no shame. You can know that this is fucking beneath you, but you do it anyway because you don't give a fuck because you got shame. I will give credit to my Catholic upbringing for one thing. A lot of shame. Oh, they made sure that we had shame. More people were raised Catholic. I think less of us would be walking around being embarrassing assholes. So I'm watching today's installment or this cabinet's debut, and what do you want me to say? I mean, I don't watch Fox News, right? So I don't really. It's all Fox News people. I saw Hegseth. I saw that guy that just got out of jail. I saw a dude in a presidential cabinet meeting with a prominent seat, not at the table. Not at the main table with the cabinet secretaries, but in the wall table with Stephen Miller and Elon Musk. The wall table saw a dude that just got out of prison, Peter Navarro, in the cabinet. He just got out of prison. Oh, but that's right. He's not a real criminal because that's all made up by the liberals. He's a good one. He's one of the good criminals. So that was wild. I'm looking at that. And by the way, there's a really funny picture out there that I saw circulating that I wanted to share. It's Elon Musk. It's a little quick video where Elon Musk is standing up. He addressed the cabinet. Darth Musk, as I call him, Darth Musk walked in and gave a speech to the cabinet and his puppet president. Darth Musk walks in and he goes, I just want to say that this is, by the way, do you notice the way he talks? Like, I can't, that accent, I know it's South African because I know somebody from South Africa, so I recognize the accent. But on top of Elon Musk's accent, and I don't do voices, but on top of that, he also got like this thing where, it's like he doesn't move his, it's a perfectly, and he doesn't pronounce, everything that he says is kind of like he doesn't move his jaw, but, you can see, like, and it's a weird accent. I don't know what's going on there. He's a space alien pretending to be a human. That's what's going on with that weirdo. So anyway, he gets up and he says, and there's a clip going around, and he goes, "This is the greatest cabinet ever assembled." And then right over his shoulder, the camera zooms in on Peter Navarro and they hit the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, that's pretty funny because it's like the greatest cabinet ever. You've got a convicted felon sitting right there when you are saying this, right next to you, or whatever. Hey, what do I know? Everything's corrupt. Believe what you want. Somebody's a criminal, and him being a criminal is embarrassing to you and some of the things that you've said over the years, then it's perfectly fine for you to go, he's not a real criminal. And that's what's happening. It's happening with all of these fucking guys, these carpetbagging sons of bitches. But okay, I'm not going to get into the politics of it. Y'all know I hate Trump, right? But you also know I hate fucking liberals. So here I am, stuck in the middle with all of this nonsense. I don't hate liberals, and I don't hate Trump. To be honest with you, he amuses me to a great extent. He's funny. I don't know if we're laughing with him or at him. I don't know what's going on there, but he is definitely an amusing guy. By the way, I caught him not praying. Oh yeah, I zoned in on that. So performatively, before the cabinet meeting started, they had a guy get up because the cameras were there. So they had a guy get up. I guess he was the new dude in charge of HUD or something. He's also a reverend, and he gets up and he's like, "Bad Jesus, please, Lord Jesus." And, they do all that thing. Everybody. Yeah, they all got their heads bowed. They're all got their eyes closed. Trump bowed his head for like the first 10 seconds. And then he started looking around. Then everybody's praying. Hegseth next to him is like a goddamn monk. Hegseth's got the little Catholic boy hands and his head is down. Look at the pictures. He's got his head down. He's like, man, I'm into this. And even Rubio to his left, Rubio's like head down, eyes closed. Not Trump. Trump's like, can I get a Diet Coke? How long is this prayer going to go on? This guy has never been to church, and you people are all like, he doesn't go to church. That's why there's never stories on Sunday or pictures of him on Sunday going to church. He's not a religious man. And somehow you people all think he's a religious man. I'm not a religious man, so I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying the con job is immense. He's looking around. He's like, we're going to pray now. Starts looking around. All right. So anyway, that's not what I want to talk about. What I do want to talk about is one of the more interesting things that has come out of this in the last 24 hours. And it was something that Trump talked a little bit about at the meeting. This is the idea of the, what are they calling it? Like, we'll call it a Wonka golden ticket, a golden visa, if you will. Now, we all know we hate immigrants, right? Isn't that it? Do I have that right? Like, do we make a distinction, or do we just hate people that aren't exactly like us? Is that what it is? Oh, we're going to go publicly with we hate illegal immigrants, but really, okay, I get it. All right, so we hate immigrants in this country, even though we are a melting pot based on the idea that an immigrant nation can be the greatest nation that the good Lord has ever created. That's who we are, but whatever, whatever. It's different now. It's 2025. They're all brown these days. They're all brown. When they said that back then, like all the immigrants, they were like from Sweden. Nobody's got a problem with Sweden. The immigrant situation back then was so lily white that they decided that somebody had to be persecuted. So, that's us, the Irish. So they got us. So back when they were like, we're a melting pot, they meant, all these white European countries. And I get that. It's 2025. Got a lot of people with, here's what we'll say, non-white skin wanting to come to this country. That's a big problem. Okay, so We're doing all the immigrant, cracking down on people who pick our apples and, clean our dishes and all that. And because fuck those people, they don't have a lobby. They can't really fight back. The only thing they got going for them is that there are a bunch of like really sad liberals out there going, oh, it's so mean. Okay, so that's all they got. That's their cheering section. So it's easy to screw with them. There are a lot of different kinds of immigrants. There are people who are here to study. There are people who are here to work for some of our bigger companies and all of that, bigger tech institutions, great minds. America should be a landing pad for the world's greatest minds. That's what we had been. And that's what hopefully we can continue to be. So to that end, Trump's come up with this idea. Actually, I don't know if it was Trump's idea. I'd like to find out the idea. But the idea is that for $5 million, you can become a citizen. So if you're picking apples and, your kid is in school out there in San Antonio or whatever, and you're worried because you're about to be kicked out of the country and estranged from your family and all of that kind of stuff, $5 million. That's all. What? You don't have $5 million? Do you know what $5 million is? Okay, so people are pushing back on this idea. They're saying, you can't do this, you can't do that. Why not? I mean, I honestly don't see a problem with this. It's not like this is another aspect of the situation. That now, what does this mean? This means that we're just going to be overrun with Middle Eastern billionaires kids who now want to live in America and get bottle service on Uptown on Saturday night. It'll be all those people. Those are the new American citizens that we'll get. A bunch of silver-spooned rich children of billionaires from around the world who can now just pay $5 million to have their kids get American citizenship. Trump is presenting it like, well, so we've got the greatest minds in the world, and then they don't get jobs. They graduate from MIT and they graduate from Wharton, and they can't get jobs because no company will pay them because their immigration status is up in the air. And I'm like, when has this ever been a problem? I mean, he presented something. I'm like, that's not a problem. That's not a real problem. People who are the work visas, people stay here for years. They work in this country for years. It's never been a problem when people are incredibly skilled at a specific thing in an industry that is, powerful. And we're talking now about finance and tech. It's never been a problem. Trump made it sound today in the cabinet meeting like, we're losing the best people. I didn't get it. So $5 million. I hate to say this because it would, I'd stop doing these streams or I'd start doing really better streams. $5 million is not really that much money, though. Not in the arena that we're talking about with these people. $5 million is a lot to you and me. $5 million is a lot to normal people. But there are two kinds of people in this world, the haves and the have-nots. To the haves, $5 million is nothing. So he's looking at it like, well, $5 million. It's not going to offset, any sort of deficit that we have. $5 million a shot. So I'm just kind of reacting to this. What is the problem? I would like to know what the problem is with. I don't know that we're going to get a lot of people in our chat room here that are going to be able to articulate a problem. I'm sure Adam's got a huge problem with it, but I am wondering what the legitimate problem is with them just saying, okay, for $5 million, you can become a citizen. If you got $5 million and you want to be a citizen, I don't see a problem. I really just don't see a problem with it. I know it's a bad look, and I know that it's not classy. It's not sophisticated. It's not like, it looks like a cash grab, and it looks like we're saying the only thing that we care about here is people who can afford to be here. But, okay, other than it being a bad look, so what? These people were going to come here anyway. Rich people who want to be in America can be in America. You can buy property. They can marry a secretary, whatever it is. $5 million. So let's start racking up $5 million. It's not going to us. Don't kid ourselves. I'm telling you, all of this money saved. We keep getting promised that we're going to get $5,000 checks. We ain't getting $5,000 checks. Well, at least I'm not. I could say that pretty conclusively. I'm so far off the radar, there is no way I'm getting a $5,000 check. But if you people all get $5,000 checks, you better tip this damn show. That's all I'm saying. I better get a piece of it. You people better understand that I am not going to be allowed to participate in this great cash windfall that's about to befall everybody, supposedly. I'll believe it when I see it. So tip the show. What else do I want to say about the whole Well, let me read you the story. I should probably read you the story just because I've been ranting like a dumbass. And I am dumb. I'm not really smart when it comes to this stuff. These are all just my opinions. I'm a barstool philosopher. There's going to be a lot of holes in my arguments, and I put it upon you in the chat room to find those holes and point them out to me when appropriate. So thank you so much. All right, let's see. Here it is. $5 million. These are, what do we have here? Golden ticket. Trump reveals VIP plan and says he wants to sell gold cards for $5 million to get mega rich foreigners into the United States. Let's take a pause right here, okay? Trump seems to think it's important to have mega rich foreigners in the country. Mega rich foreigners are fine. And I tend to agree. I mean, whatever. We seem to have mega rich everything all over. It's not a world that I cross paths with much. But whatever. There's mega rich out there. Donald Trump wants to begin selling gold cards for $5 million to foreigners who want to move to America and create jobs. The distinction that I think needs to be made is that just because you're mega rich doesn't mean that you're a worthy person. And I think that there are way too many of us who, due to programming and default thinking, because we just can't, if someone is rich, right? A guy walks into rich, he's in his suit, he owns the company. That guy walks in, there are a good portion of us, again, due to this programming and all that, it's a good portion of us who equate immediately success in running the business with he is either smart or he is better than me or he is more worthy than me. That's not true. That's not, I mean, it might be sometimes, but it's not true all the time. Just because somebody's rich doesn't mean that they're brilliant. Just because somebody's rich doesn't mean that they have something to offer other than, limousines and bottle service. There are a whole lot of rich people out there, especially now that we have now multi-generational billionaires. We have the children and grandchildren of billionaires out there running around. That's not really something we ever had. We always had a rich class, but we never had it quite to this extent. So what we've got now is we've got like generational silver spooned, inbred, lazy fucking rich kids. And we're going to say that because they can spend $5 million or because their daddy can spend $5 million like that to get that they're somehow more worthy than another person. I don't know. I think the litmus test for entry into the United States and citizenship should be something more than just having a rich daddy, but that's kind of what this is. The U.S. president on Tuesday said the immigrant program, which he said was legal, could start in as little as 2 weeks. Okay. He added that it's possible Russian oligarchs could qualify for the gold cards, which were branded as somewhat like a green card, but a higher level of sophistication. Us and them. Us and them. Don't fucking for a minute think he's talking about you. He's not. With your red hat and your shit seats at the rally, he ain't talking about you. Fuck. But okay, we'll keep going. There you go. Trump's got a plan. And I don't really have a problem with it, other than it's a bad look. But what the hell? That's what we do here in America. Bad looks. We do bad looks now. Bad taste. My grandmother would be appalled at the manners that the United States has these days. Appalled, I tell you. All right, let's keep going here. We got more stuff. Yeah, okay. Oh, geez, really? Do we got to do this? I don't want to do. All right, let's do this one first. Here, I want to play this for you because this was very important. Because a lot of people are asking about this, right? Elon Musk seems to have a very outsourced or outsized influence in this administration, and ain't nobody voted for him. Ain't nobody, he's not even an American. He's a billionaire from a foreign country who all of a sudden seems to be really in charge of stuff. So there are actual concerns about, well, what's in it for him? You gotta be like, what is in it for Elon Musk, right? He's got to be just looting. He's got to be getting federal contracts and all that. Well, we don't have to worry about it because Trump said this.
They need our protection, yes.
You mentioned Elon Musk and the efforts that he's undertaking with your authority. You granted him new authority this week. Will he secure any new government contracts while he is working on Doge?
No, not if there's a conflict. If there's no conflict, I guess what difference does it make? But we won't let it.
All right, very good. There you have it. So that was 2 weeks ago. President Trump told bold-faced lie right there in the White House that Elon Musk would have absolutely, he wasn't going to make any contracts, any new contracts. Now, SpaceX has existing contracts, and that's fine. But now it's a new administration, and he does seem to have some influence. So what's going to happen at the end of 4 years? Is SpaceX suddenly going to be NASA? Is he going to be given like trillions of dollars in United taxpayer dollars? Because he was awarded contracts that could have gone to other countries, right? So, I mean, this is a real concern. But it's okay, because Trump told Caitlin Collins of CNN, sitting behind the desk in the Oval Office, that no, that's wrong. He's not going to give any new contracts. Musk just got a new Starlink contract with FAA, a huge one. Last night. That thing I just showed you of Trump saying no new contracts. That was 2 weeks ago. That's what a salesman does. He tells you what you need to hear in the moment, knowing that you're too stupid to remember 2 weeks later that he lied to you. Or he'll already have cashed the check and doesn't give a fuck that he's lied to you and that you now think he's a liar. Musk's Starlink gets FAA contract, raising new conflicts and conflict of interest concerns. Federal Aviation Administration has agreed to use SpaceX's Starlink internet system to upgrade the information technology network it uses to manage all U.S. airspace. So there you have it. All right, so Starlink is now good. Whatever. Hey, he's working hard. Musk is there every day. He's working hard. He's wearing the hat. What the fuck is with the way he dresses? I really think that's one of my big issues with Elon Musk. Because he dresses like a douchebag affliction VIP room guy. That's how he dresses. He looks like every asshole sitting courtside at a Mavericks game. That's what Elon Musk looks like. Can he put on a suit? He's in the Oval Office. Actually, not even the Oval Office. Let's say today. He's in the cabinet room addressing the cabinet. He's wearing a fucking hat. Now, I know what you're saying, Pugs. You're doing a live stream. You're wearing a hat. But this is fashion. This is a performance. It's a part of the outfit. Oh, you know what? Fuck you. I won't wear a hat. There you go. You're right. Because as I said earlier, my grandmother raised me well, as did my mother. They both gave me good manners. I know to take a fucking hat off when you walk into a room. It's just what you do. It's just about being raised properly. You stand up when a woman enters the room. You hold doors open for people. You say please and thank you, and you take your fucking hat off when you walk into a house. Elon Musk is in the... Again, oh, Pugs, you're just being... No, fuck you. That's the lowering of the bar. I know these seem like little things, but we incrementally lower the bar on what we think is acceptable. I saw a guy on NBC News. I got a picture. I got a picture of it. I saw a guy on NBC News yesterday doing the news. He was a news anchor. Here, he is. Let's see if we can show this properly. He is doing the news. That is a news anchor wearing a fucking hoodie sweatshirt. He's doing the news in a hoodie sweatshirt. Just a little bit lower. We just lowered the expectations of what is and isn't appropriate behavior until all of a sudden we are in the idiocracy. Put my hat back on. Oh, what happened to my cool ass picture? Oh, I like this. Oh, did I lose it? What? Hold on, guys. I seem to have lost my cool ass eagle backdrop. Oh. There it is. No, I don't think that's it. There we go. Cool ass eagle. All right. Sorry about that. I didn't see that it had gone away. Let's see. Mama B wants to know, where is the money going? Terrorist organizations will infiltrate and become citizens? I don't know, right? I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of radical dudes over in that part of the world who have daddies that have $5 million. Osama bin Laden would have been one of these golden ticket guys. Come over here. It's possible. It's possible. And Musk got a new FAA contract for Starlink, even though 2 weeks ago we were promised that he's not doing this for contracts or billions and billions of American taxpayer dollars. He's not. That would be wrong. He even said it. That would be wrong. Starlink. There we go. All right, let's see. A little bit more here. So yesterday we told you about the incident that occurred between a Learjet and a Southwest airliner, which was landing at Chicago's Midway O'Hare yesterday. Here, I think we got that here. We'll show it to you. It was wild. This is wild. Again, I'll tell you what I thought. When I first heard the story, I thought it was another one of these stupid, the media, just every little thing that happens with an airplane is now going to be amplified as it's unsafe to fly. And so I was ready to take the approach that this was a nothing story, but it's not a nothing story. This situation that happened at Midway yesterday is frightening as hell. Here it is. So here we see this plane. All right, he's landing. All right, so we see this plane here. This plane has just landed. It's touching down. See this Learjet over here in the corner? This Learjet is crossing this. How does this happen? This plane, look at the speed. I mean, so anyway, this plane then had to, pull the throttle back? Is that what it is? They had to just climb. That's insane. That is insane. That is not something that happens all the time. I thought it was a disposable story. Another one of these, hey, we're going to keep you all scared with plane crash stories. I thought it was another one of those stupid ones, but it's not. That's a very real one. That's a fuck up. That is something that shouldn't happen. Today, we've got the air traffic control. This is the air traffic control chatter. And it comes to us with a little bit of a map from a really great website that I use, Radar 24. Flight Radar 24 I use to track when my kid's in the air or when I'm picking somebody up at the airport. I always use Flight Radar 24. Also, it's good for breaking news stories. Like if there's a manhunt for somebody, you can track the helicopters, the police helicopters. You can see where they are on flight. It's fun. Flight Radar 24. Flight Radar 24 has taken the flight path of both the Learjet or the landing Southwest jet. And here they're going to show it to us, what it sounds like while they were talking. Here, let me make this good for you. All right, here you go.
On runway 4 left, cross runway 31 left, and hold short of runway 31 center.
Okay, that is air traffic talking to the Learjet. Cross 31 left and hold before 31 center. Okay, all right. This, do you see this? Can you see my little white hand? This is 31 center. This is where there is a Southwest airliner about to land. Okay, this is 31 center. This is 31 left. He is told, the Learjet pilot, who we can see right here. See him right there? This is who we're going to be watching. The Learjet pilot is told clearly to cross 31 left and hold at 31 center. Why is he holding at 31 center? Because there's a Southwest jet landing. All right, so let's watch this. It's important to point that out because we are hearing the air traffic controller tell the pilot exactly what to do. Why is this important? It's important because for any number of reasons, chief among them the political climate, people are trying to say that a lot of these changes and all that with the FAA and the cutbacks and DOGE and whatnot is making air traffic unsafe, which means we would be looking to pin this on the air traffic controller whose job was changed. This ain't on the air traffic controller. This is on the pilot. The air traffic controller, who, if he fucked up, then we'd go, this is, say we're firing too many people. The air traffic controller didn't fuck up. The Lear pilot fucked up. Now let's watch this again. Here we go.
Flight 560, turn left on runway 4 left, cross runway 31 left, and hold short of runway 31 center.
Right, left on 4 left, cross 22 or 13 center, flight 560.
That's the Learjet pilot. He seems all kinds of confused. He seems like he wasn't paying attention. He's like, huh? Wait, what? Okay, whatever. All right, so now we see him right here. This is him right here. He's going to make this turn, and he's going to come this way. Okay, this is where he's going to, watch this.
560 negative, cross runway 31 left, hold short runway 31 center.
So the air traffic controller just corrected him. He said, no, you're crossing 31 left, and then you're going to hold at 31 center.
Cross 31 left, hold short 31 center, FlexJet 560.
FlexJet, the Learjet, just confirmed. Got that. Crossing left, holding at center. So now you see he's just made the turn. Now he's crossing 3-1 left. All right at this moment, he's doing what he's told. He is crossing 3-1 left. Now this arrow down here is going to show us the Southwest jet landing. All right. As he's approaching 3-1 center, where the Southwest airliner is about to land. Is this him right here? This might be him right here. Yeah, this is the Southwest jet trying to land. So he's trying to land right here. FlexJet has just confirmed that they will be holding short at 3-1 center. So the FlexJet has said, yeah, I heard you. We're stopping here. Well, for some reason, they didn't stop.
Southwest 2504 going around.
So that's the only thing we hear from Southwest. Did you hear Southwest interrupt out of nowhere? Southwest 2405 going around. That's Southwest saying, okay, we're climbing.
2504, 3000.
So right here, the Learjet has crossed over 3-1, was told by the tower to hold at 3-1 center multiple times and even correcting him when he got it wrong the first time.
Hold your position 2504 up to 3000. Position flight 560.
And there it is, right there. Right, the plane is now back in the air. It would have been a collision. That plane is back in the air and climbing. If it had hit the ground, the speeds of they would have collided. It would have been a horrible thing. But the plane completely, the pilot of, how about a shout out for the pilot of that Southwest Airlines flight? I think the last time we talked about a Southwest Airlines pilot was when his button got stuck and he started talking about all the gays in San Francisco. That was the let's hope it's the same guy, because I like a little balance in my guys. That would this is a good job. This is a really good job by the pilot.
60, continue across the hold short of hotel.
All right, so now at this point, the incident has occurred and the air traffic controllers are a little bit irritated. You can hear them. Just hold there. They're now telling the Learjet, don't go any further. All right, just stop. Stop, asshole. Okay? Like, I don't know if they're grounding him or I don't know if the plane took off, but that's what the instructions are at this point.
Southwest 2504 going around. 2504, roger that, coming maintain 3000.
Flight 560, hold your position
2504 up to 3000. Position flight 560.
Flight 560, continue across the hold short of hotel.
Across the hold short hotel, flight 560.
Flight 560, your instructions are to hold short of runway 31 center.
That's important, he says, because right now, the air traffic controller is getting it on tape. He just wants it reiterated that your instructions were, that's what he says here, your instructions were to hold short of runway 31 center.
Flight 560, your instructions are to hold short of runway 31 center.
That's him saying, this is on you. There's going to be all kinds of shit that we're all going to take because of this. And I just want it out there that this is on you, Learjet pilot, not me, air traffic control guy.
So 2504, unable, turn left heading 220. Left heading 220, Southwest.
That Southwest pilot seems as cool. That's the great thing about pilots. They all seem so cool, right? You never hear a pilot, and I listen to a lot of these air traffic controls, you never hear him freaking out. This dude just had to pull back, save an entire plane full of people from colliding with a Learjet that somehow doesn't know what hold means. And he's totally cool and chill about it.
So 2504, unable, turn left heading 220. Left heading 220, Southwest.
2504. No big deal. Totally got it. I'm a pilot. I flew in Afghanistan. All right, here we go. What else do we got?
Flight 560, hold right there, sir.
Hold right there, sir. Don't move. They are freezing the Learjet. They're like, you're not going anywhere, man, until we figure out exactly what the hell is going on.
Hold position.
Flight 560, hold right there, sir. Don't move.
Hold position 560. Tower Southwest 2504, how'd that happen?
How'd that happen? There you go. That was the last thing air traffic control says to him. Hey, how did that happen? I don't know, but it's obvious that it's the Learjet pilot. The Learjet pilot, I suppose now the next question is, what color was he? What religion was the? Is he one of them DEI Learjet pilots I hear about all the time? I think you're either able to fly a Learjet or you're not. I don't know what DEI has to do with it. All right, let's keep going. Let's see here. What else do we have? Recent airliner crashes. Oh, here's something wild. This happened. This is out of Colorado. We're gonna watch some video here. This story is crazy. So dog theft is like a real big thing. The dog's here today, CeeLo. I'd like to see somebody try and steal CeeLo. I just love to see that. Better bring a gun or a hamburger. Honestly, if you have a hamburger, she'll go with you anywhere. She's a very aggressive, big, mean dog, and she doesn't like really anybody that she doesn't know, and unless they have a hamburger. So I guess that would be one way. But puppy theft, especially of exotic breeds, is a big thing. We've heard stories about, celebrities, dog walkers, because there ain't a celebrity worth their salt who walks their own dog. I can tell you, as a poor person who has to walk his own dog, if I had just a little extra income, I would totally pay somebody to walk the damn dog. And that dog would get much better and more enthusiastic walks than he gets from me. Because every time I take the dog out for a walk, I act like it's a huge imposition. All right, let's go. Are you going to work with me on this? Are you just going to be distracted by everything, or are we sniffing? Are we sniffing and then maybe peeing somewhere? Can we do that? That's the energy that I bring to a dog walk. So, but yeah, celebrity dog walkers getting knocked off, their feet, and the dog stolen, thrown in a car. Comes to Colorado. This happened over the weekend. There's a pet store in Colorado. Let's call it Pets Plus. I don't know. Isn't every pet store called something like that? It says here, multiple suspects are on the run in Colorado following a bizarre heist in which a male allegedly faked a seizure to distract workers at a pet store while his accomplice swiped two bulldog puppies worth $4,299 each from a display case. $4,000, $4,300, $299. It's $4,299. $4,300 for a bulldog puppy. I mean, they're cute, and you know what the great thing about bulldogs are? You don't have to walk them. I mean, I'm not saying they're like cats, but I'm like they don't want to go out. They just, and when they do go out, here's what I've heard from bulldog owners: they will shit right away. They're like, yeah, I don't want to be out here. I'm a couch dog. $4,300 for bulldogs. Wow. The theft was captured on video at Perfect Pets in Centennial, Colorado, or Arizona, Colorado. Centennial, Colorado on Sunday afternoon. One of the two dogs was later returned to the store by a Good Samaritan after she purchased the puppy for $1,500 from a street vendor in North Denver. So they stole the puppies, and then they stand on a corner with a box, and they sell it, and they're cute. Man, I'm telling you, I bet a little bulldog puppy. If you want a bulldog, and do they really cost like $4,000? If you want a bulldog and they're that expensive, maybe you buy a bulldog puppy from a bum. Maybe you buy a bumbox bulldog. My dog, CeeLo, we think she's a bumbox dog. We think she came out of a bumbox. Probably. Anyway. Point is this. Hold on, I need a drink. All right, another thing. $4,200. It was on that. I had a thought on $4,200 for a puppy, but okay, whatever. Anyway, you want to watch the video? So remember, here's what happened. So a crew of dog theft burglars, they go into the pet store. One of them pretends to have a seizure. Everybody focuses on the person having the seizure, and then another dude goes and starts stealing dogs. $4,000 inbred puppy mill puppies. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you. Don't buy dogs from pet stores. That is like the worst thing. Don't buy dogs from pet stores. First of all, they're going to cost $4,000. And they come from puppy mills. That's where they come from. Look, you need a new dog, go down and adopt a puppy, man. Do you know how many puppies they're giving away for free? You know how many puppies? Come on, man. They're going to kill those dogs. We need that. The puppy mill thing is a very ugly situation. So don't buy dogs from pet stores. And I found this out too late. I bought my dog Blue. I didn't buy her. Yeah, well, we did. But she's a pet store. Well, there's nothing. And I found out later about, puppy mills and all of that, and how they create specific breeds because they can charge more for them. And anyway, don't do that. Just if you look, all dogs are semi-retarded anyway. So just get one from the pound, save its life. It'll be the best. And let's not kid ourselves. These thoroughbred, pure breed dogs all suck. They're all the worst dogs. They all have inbred problems. Like, oh, he bleeds out of his rectum. Oh, it's normal. That's just normal for the breed. Those dogs are awful. Get a mutt. Get a dog that's like got 15 different breeds in them. Probably spent the first 6 weeks of his life on the street. Get a dog like that. That'll be your friend for life. That's a dog that appreciates being allowed up on the bed. Just saying. All right, so we got the video. Let's watch the video of this heist that went down in Colorado. This is, do I have the good video? Yeah, I think I do. Here we go. Oh, we got a full YouTube video. Oh, that's good. It's always good when they get a full YouTube video.
A message from the Sonic Department of Research and Deliciousment.
What? This is a commercial.
You know our Sonic Smasher, our best burger yet. Well, meet the all-new Bacon Deluxe.
What the hell? Why isn't this working? Oh, here we go. All right, here we go. All right, let's watch this video. All right, let's point out what we're looking at here first. Nope, don't need that. All right. So here we got, we're looking at the pet store. This is a security camera. We've got, obviously, these little bins here are probably filled, display cases, if you will, filled with puppies climbing all over each other, looking cute. You've got the counter here. This is where I guess you check out. These two girls seem to be people who work here. We've got a mom. We've got a mom here. She's got one little kid in her arms, and then there seems to be another little kid somewhere over here. And I don't know what this is. This looks like another adult. All right. Let's bring our attention to these two, because these are the two guys we're going to need to deal with. Over here on this counter is this guy. See him? He's got his head bent down. He's over here. His head is bent down. He's looking in a display case, or at least he appears to be looking very intently at a display case. This guy is talking to a cashier. This guy is, distracting the cashier. All right. So that's the pet store. Let's see what happens. Did you see him? Did you see the dude fake the seizure? All right, so here's the play. Here's the con. He fakes the seizure. One more time. Dogs better than human beings. Did you notice? The only people to show instant concern for the human that just went through this were the dogs. The dogs are the ones who reacted. The humans were all like, I wonder what our insurance carrier advises I do in this situation. That's what the humans did. Dogs were like, hey, it's a person in distress. Somebody help them. All right, so now we got a mom. Good mom. Moms can always be counted on. She's going to go over there and check them out first. There you go. Here's what she should have done. She should have grabbed his dick. She should have grabbed his dick. I think that's something that we got to do. From now on, if we sense that maybe something weird is happening and we're not sure if this person is really having a medical emergency, grab his dick. He'll react. Oh, he'll totally not be having a seizure if you grab his dick. It's a man can't help but, oh, you're cured of your seizure. So that's what's happening here. This guy is trying to distract everybody with the seizure while this guy, see him, his buddy? His buddy, the first thing his buddy did was walked away from the counter and is now heading back to some displays here where dogs are kept. These little kids don't need to see this. All right, so now he's looking over, he's checking on him. He's like, okay, it's working. Everyone is preoccupied with what's happening here.
I think you're supposed to put one aside or something.
All right, apparently this is the bulldog bucket. I appreciate this. I appreciate that this random pet store in Colorado has better camera coverage than I do here. They got multi-cameras. They're switching between, I can't have a guest on because I can't do more than one camera shot.
Hey, what are you doing?
All right, so he's just grabbed the puppies, and they're like, hey, what are you doing?
Hey, what are you doing? Hey, no, stop, stop, stop!
There you have that's humanity for us. That's what we're reduced to. Stealing adorable little puppies in front of children.
I think you're supposed to be on the side. Come on the side or something.
Hey, what are you doing? Hey, no, stop, stop, stop!
Oh, there you have it. All right. Puppy thievery. One puppy. It said that he got two. I saw him run out with two. I saw him drop them both when he, tried to do a goal line push through the two people who worked there. I saw him drop both dogs, and I saw him pick one up. I didn't see him pick up the second one because they said there were two dogs that were taken. And what was the plan here? What was the plan? Oh, here. Sorry, I'll put my light back on. There we go. What was the plan here? Was the guy who faked the seizure going to go through with it? Like, was an ambulance going to come? Or after the dude ran out, was he just going to go, oh, I'm okay? Was that the plan? That's a terrible plan. People aren't that stupid. All it takes is one fairly quick person there to go, hey, wait a second. You're fine now. All right, there you go. High-level dog thievery going on there in Colorado. Again, they jumped into a waiting car. It was a green Escalade with no plates. No plates. No fucking plates. What kind of person is comfortable just driving around with no plates? I wouldn't drive to the 7-Eleven, which is 2 blocks away from where I live. I wouldn't drive in a neighborhood. I wouldn't drive to the 7-Eleven if I didn't have plates on my car, because I know I'd get pulled over. These people, they got some grand heist where they're going to steal bulldogs by faking a seizure. They're rolling around in an Escalade, double parked in front of the store with no plates. One random cop drives by. Isn't he going to go, hey, you don't have plates? Criminals, man. It's got to be drugs, right? You got to make these decisions. And, oh, by the way, here's the other thing. It worked. They got away. Into the green Escalade, no plates, gone into the night. Day. Sunday afternoon. I don't know when it occurred. It happened on Sunday. All right. One dog got we didn't talk about the dog. So the woman who bought the dog for $1,500, she bought it off of a dude selling them on a street corner. So she bought one of the dogs, and then she instantly saw the news story because she's local, and it was a local story. And then she brought the dog back. And I don't know if she's out $1,500. You got to give her the dog, right? You got to give her the dog. You just got to take that loss. You got to be like, okay, you can keep the dog because you seem like a good person. That's who you want adopting the dog. Somebody with a state of mind and a conscience that says, this is wrong. I'm going to bring it back to the pet store. I don't know if they let her keep the dog. They should. They should let her keep the dog. All right, let's see. What else do we have? Oh, did you guys see the cocaine toupee story? Two things about this. One, toupees? What happened to toupees? When I was a kid in the 1970s, dudes wore toupees all the time. As a bald man, just in case you doubted me, as a bald man, I can tell you that toupee was never an option for me. And by the time I came along, by the time I started getting my hair thinning, mid-90s, late 90s, I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to shave it. So I've just been shaving my head. I've been going the opposite direction. My whole attitude is my hair don't want to be here. I don't want you. You're gone. Shave, shave, shave. But a lot of dudes, through a great length of the past 100 years wore toupees regularly. We used to see them all the time. I never see them anymore. Is it because of the Cy Sperling deal? Is it because of like the hair transplants for men? Because those things I can tell. Because I toupees, you never see them. But dudes who have hair plugs and all of that kind of stuff, you can tell that. I know they don't like to admit it. And if you got hair plugs, you're hearing this and you're like, that's not true. It's true. You folks with veneers, you too. You too. We know. And I don't need to say anything about you girls with the fake boobs. Yeah, we can tell that too. Okay? These things are not normal. So a dude wearing a toupee got caught smuggling cocaine. He had a whole bunch of cocaine stuffed underneath the toupee, and I bet you that's the only reason that he was wearing a toupee. The second thing, first thing being, people don't wear toupees anymore. The second thing, why would you try and smuggle drugs? You see a dude in 2025 coming through with a weird-looking toupee, and you're in Colombia. I'd be like, let's investigate why this guy is. It's just it just seemed like a bad plan from the start. So we got pictures of it. Let's see here. This guy was caught smuggling cocaine under his toupee in Colombia. He had $10,000 worth of cocaine under there. Is that a lot? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what cocaine costs these days. Other than one's life with the fentanyl stuff. Here, I'll show you. We got some pictures. Who's that? That's an ad for a toilet, I guess. All right, so here you go. So this is them. They're cutting the toupee off the dude's head. How humiliating for him. You know you're busted. He's sitting there. They are literally cutting the hair off his head to reveal these big blobs of cocaine that he had. I think there's a better picture. Oh, there he is. They got to perp walk him. They're like, oh, you got to make him. Yeah, you got to take his hair. Wait, is he wearing a hat or is that his toupee? He's wearing a hat, right? That's not his toupee. That's got to be a hat. All right. Do we have a better picture? Oh, it's that guy with the toilet again. No better picture. All right, there you go. Guy tried to smuggle cocaine under his toupee. People don't wear toupees anymore. I don't know if there's ever been a good toupee. And you know what the best toupee was? I'll tell you what the best toupee was. The best toupee was the toupee that dudes wore that didn't try to pretend that they had a full, luxurious head of hair. Frank Sinatra had a good toupee. Frank Sinatra had a toupee that, was recognizing the fact that he's got a receding hairline and a hot, but it filled it in. That was a good toupee. Everybody else had bad toupees, like Maury Seinfeld. Remember on Seinfeld? That dude. But when did toupees go out? Like, when did the last, was there a toupee store? Like, when did the last big toupee store go out of business? 90s? I could talk about toupees all day. All right. I want to mention this because it's like a huge story. It's not a huge story in real life, but if you live your life online, as so many of us do, this is like a major breaking news story. It's been trending. It's been trending in the top 5 for like 24 hours. Yesterday, like every other post on my feed was about this. And I'm like, what? What is this? I don't know any of these people. I don't know if these people are famous. I don't know if they're just randos or what. But are you following and don't follow. I'm not following it either. It's hard to get out of the way of it because every other post gives me a little bit more information about this very weird story that seems to be captivating a huge swath of the American social media public. I'm talking about Mary Kate Cornett and her boyfriend, Evan. Have you ever heard of Mary Kate Cornett? I never heard of her before. She's hot. Her pictures were circulating. I'm like, she's hot. I don't know if she's an Instagram model. I don't know if she's an OnlyFans chick. I don't know if she's famous for anything. Because it seems like she's only famous for this news story that began popping. And it's not even a news story. It's internet gossip. It's people. People talking about this. There is no, the New York Times reports. There's none of that. It's just like random everyday gossip that somehow became a massive news story online. So Mary Kate Cornett is a sorority girl from Ole Miss, or maybe the University of Mississippi. It doesn't matter. Mississippi's involved. Apparently she lives here in Texas, though. And well, after the events of yesterday, she's transferring to Baylor. So I don't know where she's from or whatever. But here's why Mary Kate Cornett is now famous. She slept with her boyfriend's dad. Yeah, that's it. She slept with her boyfriend's dad, and she's trending #1. She's not famous. Is she famous? Is she a real? I don't think she is. I think she's just a regular hot chick online. She's not even like that Ashley St. Clair, who's a hot chick with like 1 million followers. I think this Mary, I don't know what she is, but here's the story. So apparently Mary Kate Cornett was dating her boyfriend, Evan. Evan and Mary Kate have been dating for quite some time, and they're in love. Mary Kate Cornett went home to their shared hometown while Evan stayed. Evan stayed at school at Ole Miss. He had big, important Ole Miss stuff to do. So she goes home to their hometown. The reason is she went home to attend a basketball game, I believe, being played by her boyfriend, Evan's sister. Right? So, she's like the boyfriend's girlfriend, and she's going to go to the boyfriend's sister's basketball game. She's going to show team family support. That's nice. That's not weird. That's normal. She goes home. What are you doing while you're home? Well, I'm going to go see my boyfriend's sister play basketball. That's totally normal. But she went with the dad. Like, she went with the dad. So, like, the dad. So let's just pretend they're married. She went to the game with her father-in-law, right? She went to the game with her boyfriend's dad. And then they took the sister home after the basketball game, dropped her off. And then this Mary Kate Cornett and her boyfriend's dad apparently went out to dinner. And then they had drinks. And then they banged. and then they banged again. And apparently there's like a whole relationship now. And apparently she's also still dating Evan, the boyfriend. This is the story that everybody online was talking about yesterday. So I don't know what any of this means. Other than, here, I'll show you. Okay, I'll give you an example. All right, let's go to the Mary Kate thread on Twitter right now. Here we go. Let's just look at what some people are saying. And I'm just very confused because I don't understand why this is a story. I don't understand. You guys, this is daytime TV on a Tuesday in 1995. If you're sitting there watching Jerry Springer and they say, today's episode, I slept with my boyfriend's husband, you wouldn't even wince at that. You'd be like, yeah, another boring Springer episode. But yesterday in 2025, it's like the #1, and people are freaking out about it. Oh my God. All right. So let's go through this. Let's see. Here's, all right. Let's see what this one is. Trying to get on the old man's good side. All right. So I guess this is a text conversation between her and her boyfriend's dad. She says, how you doing, big man? He says, awesome. What you up? Oh God, did she contact him? And then he immediately went with you up? Is that what's happening here? She says, just wanted to text you and say I love you. To the boyfriend's dad? Love you, man. That was so nice. How you doing? I don't know what any of this stuff is about. What is this? So apparently it's confirmed here at Delta House that Mary did in fact sleep with her boyfriend's dad and that she is currently dropping out of college. Okay, again, see, I don't know what this is. Why do we care? This is a Springer episode. And the reason I'm obsessing on this is because obviously I do a stream, and obviously I'm trying to figure out ways to get fucking clicks and likes and figure out how this whole fucking thing works. I've been doing it 3 years. We got 15 people. So I'm frustrated because I see this shit and I'm like, what? This is fucking Jerry Springer. No, I'm sorry. This is Jenny Jones. No, I'm sorry. This is Sally Jesse Raphael. No, I'm sorry. This is Charles Perez. No, I'm sorry. This is Ricky Lake. No, I'm sorry. This is every fucking show in the 1990s. I slept with my boyfriend's dad. All right, let's keep going. So there she is, and that's the dad. There you go. He's a private investment banker. She kind of looks like Britney Spears. Do we see the boyfriend? Where's Evan? Is there a picture of? What are these, more texts? I don't know what this is. I don't know what any of this stuff is. Show me the boyfriend. We got to see the boyfriend, right? Who's still going out with her? Yeah. All right, guys, I got no answers for this. I don't know. The Mary-Kate Cornett thing, it still seems to be happening online. It's a big story. It's not a big story. It's a fucking stupid story that is getting so much traction, and I have no idea why. Again, this is the Springer Show from 1995. Why are we acting like this is such a crazy thing? Peter says, aren't Ole Miss and the University of Mississippi same school? I don't know. Are they? Maybe. Maybe they are. Maybe they are. And Mississippi State's another school, right? Those are like the two colleges in Mississippi. They only got room for two of them. I don't know. The world confuses me. Let's see. What else do we have here? Oh, this is fun. Yeah, this is something. We did this yesterday. Or maybe it was 2 days ago. I showed you an example of the new baseball robot ump. So there's a new, a lot of cool changes coming in baseball. I like them all. I am a traditionalist in some respects, but I'm also someone who knows that baseball is dying and we need to change it so that kids who have no attention span might embrace this wonderful sport. So I'm all for these changes that speed the game up and move it along and all that stuff. So one of the changes is now the robot ump. Batters can appeal an umpire's ball and strike call, which as an old catcher, look, umpires are I've always believed umpires are in the absolute worst place to be able to gauge whether a ball is a ball and strike. And for some reason, for the last 150 years, that's where we've put them. We may as well put them out in the fucking parking lot. I mean, seriously, you're not seeing the ball once it gets inside the box. You don't know exactly where that thing went. It's fucking guesswork, and they're terrible at it. Over the last few years, I have been driven to kick holes in walls by bullshit called third strikes. Caught looking! And then because recently in the last few years, we've been given these box. There's a box on the TV screen for each pitch, and the box is the pitch box. Anything inside the box is a strike, and we've been able to see that. And we've been able to see for years now umpires going, bop, and we just saw it be a strike. We just saw it was a strike, bop, or the called third strike. Caught him looking, and then the ball is like way outside, and you're like, what the fuck? So robots calling balls and strikes, especially in, bases loaded, 2 out, full count situations, very fucking important to me because the purity of the game is important. I really want to see how many pitchers have gotten like really important called third strikes and they were just bullshit. They were balls. They shit the bed. They threw a ball, but the umpire gave them the called third strike and they won the World Series. I don't know, but that's probably happened. So I showed you an example of what the robot ump in the challenge will look like, what the process. We watched a game between the Padres and the Dodgers, and we saw how it works. Umpire calls the play. Batter, instead of John with the umpire, says challenge, and then the umpire steps away, speaks into a microphone, and says, the batter has challenged the call on the play. And then instantly, because I think this is the most important part, it can't be like football where challenges are 5 minutes of interruption in the game. They got to be quick. And there's no reason they can't be quick because we can see it immediately because we all just saw it on the broadcast. We know it was a fucking bad call. So it's quick. And we saw an example of that. I want to show you another example of someone challenging a call on an umpire at a game yesterday. I don't know who this is now. I don't know what teams these are. It looks like maybe it's the Pirates. No. This is the Padres again. This looks like it's the Padres and the Angels. Okay, so let's watch this again. This is what the challenge of balls and strikes will look like in Major League Baseball, and this is kind of a fun one.
Good breaking ball, just misses. Brett Sullivan get a challenge.
The ball call.
So see, that was the ref. See how the ref turns to the crowd and then you hear he's challenged the ball call. So here, listen. So you can see him. It's the ref. It's the umpire talking.
Breaking ball just misses. Brett Sullivan get a challenge.
The ball call.
Brett has been
All right, so now the previous pitch has been challenged, and now we are instantaneously going to see the box and the ball, and we'll be able to see definitively whether that was a ball or a strike. The umpire called a ball. The batter said no. Or wait, I don't know what the fuck. Just watch it.
Expert at the ABS system. Ooh.
The call is surprisingly correct.
All right, so that's the umpire. The umpire answers the challenge by saying the ball is surprisingly correct, which is funny. A little bit, oh, you're going to challenge me? What, you think I'm wrong? Well, guess what, kid? I'm right. Let's watch it again.
Good breaking ball, just misses. Brett Sullivan going to challenge.
The ball call.
Brett has been expert at the ABS system. Ooh.
The call is surprisingly correct.
The call is surprisingly correct. I was right. You were wrong. Don't challenge me. Play ball. That was fun. Oh, okay. So here we'll end with this. We'll end with this today. So I still, the Oscars coming up this Sunday. Am I going to watch them? It's like I want to say yes, but I think that like when rubber hits the road on Sunday night, I might be like, I got 2 episodes of Mayor of Kingstown I'm going to watch. Maybe I'll do that. But I am trying to see as many of these movies as possible. I still haven't seen the Bob Dylan movie because the copy that I have access to, no. It's not. First of all, it's a music movie, okay? There's music. I need to hear sound. There needs to be good sound. I don't know what's going on with the copy of the Bob Dylan movie that I have. Okay, it's obviously some dude went to a movie theater with a handy cam and filmed it from the seat. You can hear people coughing, and it's not as bad as Kramer and Seinfeld, but it is definitely that. So I have not seen more than the first 10 minutes of the Bob Dylan movie, but I do want to see it. I have seen The Substance. I think The Substance is incredible. I have seen The Brutalist. The Brutalist is awful. And I don't mean it like The Brutalist is awful. I can't believe man's inhumanity towards man. It moved. No, I mean, it's awful. Like, is this movie going to get good, or is it just going to be this for 4 hours? Because that movie never got good. That movie just got more boring. So The Brutalist sucks. Conclave, that's a movie about choosing a pope. I saw that. That's very good. I would definitely recommend. I wouldn't recommend Conclave to everybody. I would recommend Conclave to, other Catholics, like people who were raised in people who get the whole Pope thing and understand how important it is to a whole bunch of people walking around calling themselves Catholics. You non-Catholics, you don't get it. You really do not get what the Pope is. Okay, so you just think he's a rich guy that we give money to, and he wears a funny hat. No. He's like a whole different thing inside the Catholic Church. That dude is basically God on earth. So it's a big deal. But if you don't really understand that, and you don't understand the stakes of choosing a new pope that Catholics truly appreciate, then maybe Conclave would be like, what, all of this this is like a Disney production, right? The whole Vatican, that's a pretend thing. No, they take it real fucking serious. And it's real power, man. You can talk about being... What is power? Power is influence, okay? The Pope is one of the most powerful people in the world. It's just not even close. He has an army of Catholics in every corner of the world who will rally their church. I mean, I don't mean to say the Pope could go to war. Back in the 10th century, that was a thing. Like, the Pope he was definitely the most. What I'm saying is it's a big deal. And I don't know that non-Catholics or evangelicals, I think they know the Pope exists, but I don't think they really have any full awareness of how important he is as an individual to Catholics and the Catholic Church in general. So Conclave is good, but you've got to be of that mind that I just described. Otherwise, like I don't think I'd really be all that interested in watching something about how the Mormons choose their, I'd be like, nah, I don't think so. But if I was Mormon and I understood the process, I might find it interesting. Conclave is great. Brutalist bad, Conclave good, Substance good, Dylan movie didn't see. The trans movie, the trans drug dealer dance club, subtitled, I don't even know what it's called. Not a chance in fuck that I ever see that. So I don't know. Maybe it's the best movie of the year. That's not a chance in fuck that I'm ever going to see it because of the trans movie. Although that's part of it. It just seems to be. First of all, it's a foreign film. I'm not good with foreign films. I'm a big dumb American. I don't want to read movies. You tricked me into reading a movie a couple of years ago with that Parasite. And so I read that movie. That was all subtitled. The South Korean movie about that movie. That was all right. You were right. I was wrong. That movie was great. And I enjoyed reading it. But I don't want to go into a thing. Do you have to read? Wait a second. There's a bunch of English speakers in that movie. Is it in English or is it in Spanish? Or maybe even Portuguese for all I know. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not seeing that movie. Not seeing that movie. I'm not interested in it. And then the trans actor or actress, was born a guy, is now a girl. Turns out that person's like garbage. That's like a total piece of shit person. They've got like total piece of shit Twitter hot takes from years ago. I don't want to see that movie on any level. Not interested. I still believe that the best movie of the year, and I haven't seen anything that can top it, is Anora. Anora is easily, I mean, of those movies that I saw, I'm like, there's no doubt. I mean, there's one that's the most enjoyable. I wouldn't recommend, now again, kind of like Conclave, I wouldn't recommend Anora to everybody, just people who have dated prostitutes. That's the only, no, I'm kidding. Obviously, that's a joke. Anora's great. Again, what is Anora? Anora is Pretty Woman meets Uncut Gems. I think that is a great way to describe that movie. That's what that movie feels like. Like, imagine if Julia Roberts was really a fucking hoe. Like, you know how Julia Roberts is kind of a prostitute, but you're like, there's no such thing as a prostitute that looks like that. She is way too well behaved. She doesn't have any drug habit. Are you kidding me? Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman has no drug habit. She looks like that, and she's a streetwalker. That's nonsense, right? That's nonsense. Oh, and Nora is a big hoe. Honora is a slut, and she is going to make her money and spreading her legs. It's great. It's great. Honora is great. All right, so there is the Hollywood. Every year, the Hollywood Reporter does this thing where they use a computer model and they use all of these different things and they come up with a scale, a percentage thing, a probability table of what is probably going to win on Oscar night. So they do this every year. So they've done it again. So here it is. Let's see a quick explanation of what this is. Predicting this year's Oscar winners using just math, the Hollywood Reporter way. All right, so it says here, every Oscar season is special, blah, blah, blah. What is my best? Blah, blah, blah. So here's how they do it. All right, so here's what the model is for predicting the Oscar winners. The model includes industry awards, which other categories a film is nominated in, critic scores, and betting markets. In each category, the model determines how correlated the predictor has been with the Oscars in the past, with gradually less reliance on older years due to, you get it. It's fucking smart nerd stuff. It's nerd money, smart stuff. All right, so here's what they're saying. All right, so here's what we got. Here's what the computer model based on all of those things. Best Picture. We've got I'm Still Here. We've got Dune Part 2. Haven't seen Dune Part 2 yet. Haven't seen Nickel Boys. Don't know what that is. Never even heard of Nickel Boys. Maybe we'll have to check that out. The Substance is good. Wicked, I'm not going to see. Oh, wait. I'm Still Here isn't the Bob Dylan movie. Complete Unknown is the Bob Dylan movie. All right. Complete Unknown. I haven't seen it yet. Brutalist is terrible. Amelia Perez, I'm not seeing that. Conclave is good. And the number... 52%. 52% likelihood is going to win Best Picture. Anora, according to the Hollywood Reporter. And it's not even close, kids. 52% went to Anora. 52%. Part number 2, second place, Conclave. 15%. So you can see it. The computer model is with me. They're like, dude, Honora is probably going to be the big movie of the night. Best director, the computer model says, once again, Sean Baker for Honora. This one's a little bit closer. This one is 35% for Sean Baker in Honora to win the best director, followed by 30.4% by Brady Corbett for The Brutalist. The Brutalist sucked, man. I'm sorry. Best actor. All right, here's what we got. Best actor. Yeah, this is a runaway. 68.5%. Adrian Brody, The Brutalist. Timothée Chalamet comes in second at 19.3% likelihood. Ralph Fiennes in Conclave at 5.5. Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice. He was good as Trump. He won't win, but just to be nominated here is a big thing. He was so good. All right, best actor, Adrian Brody. That's your pick to click, 68.5%. Best actress. This is the one that I got a problem with. I got a real problem with this one because although I need to just get okay with it because this is how the Holly of the Oscars has always been. The Oscars, the Academy Awards are supposed to be awards given out for performances in that year. How did you do this year in the movie that you were in this year? Right? That's what it is. But in the best actress category this year, we're probably not going to get a legitimate winner. What we're going to get is Demi Moore being given the Best Actress Award for a career of service. And I will argue that Demi Moore has never done a movie that would, nobody ever said in any Oscar year past, Demi Moore really should have been nominated. Nobody ever said that about G.I. Jane, about Ghost, about whatever. What else did she do? I don't even know what else she did. That's how forgettable Demi Moore's movies are. But she's been around forever. And this movie is a poignant statement on women in Hollywood. And I think they're going to take that opportunity to pat themselves on the back and, just be like, look, Hollywood is so mean to women, but look at it. We're giving this great woman an award. She was fine. Here's what I'll say about Demi Moore in The Substance. She was great. She was great. That whole movie's great. That's a fun movie. That's a really good movie. I've never seen a movie in that genre, which is the horror slasher genre. I've never seen a movie in that genre be that good. Like, it's not just about blood and guts and gore and all that. It's good. It's just the story is good. And it's great. And you may remember that before I saw Honora, I was, saying, give Demi the Oscar. But then I saw Honora. Mikey Madison deserves the Oscar. I'm sorry. She put in a ball-busting dramatic performance as this Brooklyn prostitute. Mikey Madison comes in second with 21.6%. Demi Moore is slated by the Hollywood Reporter to be the odds-on favorite. 52% likelihood that she's going to win. Best Actress, Mikey Madison for Honora comes in second at 21%. And that sucks. That's too bad for her. But the argument will be, oh, well, she's here to stay. Are you fucking kidding me? No, Mikey Madison has earned the Best Actress Oscar for this movie this year. Give it to her Sunday night. But they won't. They'll give it to Demi. It will be okay, because that'll be the clip that everybody will play the next year of Demi Moore tearfully talking about. I hope she talks about Bruce. Right? Don't make it all about you. I know it's your big night, but maybe, we all want to know about what's going on with Bruce. I don't know. Best Supporting Actor, that's going to go to Kieran Culkin. Pretty much everybody says he's got the highest likelihood of any category. Kieran Culkin for the film A Real Pain is an 87.7% lock to win for Best Supporting Actor. Edward Norton, who does he play? Does he play... He doesn't play Arlo. He plays Pete Seeger. Who does he play? He plays one of them old folk guys in the Bob Dylan movie. He's second. Kieran Culkin for A Real Pain has 87.7% likelihood of winning. Second place is Edward Norton with 3%. There you go. Best Supporting Actress. Who are we giving this to? Best Supporting Actress is going to Zoe Saldana, according to this. Wait a second. She's high. Why did it say that he was the highest margin? Highest margin over second place. So Kieran Culkin had 87.7 likelihood of winning the Best Supporting Actor Oscar. Zoe Saldana has an 89.4 chance of winning the Best Supporting Actress. Zoe Saldana for that Emilia Perez movie, a movie that I'll probably never see. Best Original Screenplay, who are they giving it to? Honora. Yeah, that's another route. Honora wins Best Original Screenplay. Best Adapted Screenplay goes to Conclave. Best Animated Feature, who cares? Do we care? The Wild Robot, 55%. All right, that's going to do it. There you have it. Hollywood Reporter has released their odds-on Oscar favorites, and I'm just happy. I'm just happy to see that Honora is a big favorite to win Best Picture. And I wonder if that would have been the case. I wonder if that would have been the case if the star of Emilia Perez, if all of her ugly and racist and homophobic tweets, it's so weird because she's a trans person, you know? You think those people are like a little bit more sensitive to, persecution and stuff. But ever since those tweets were uncovered, that movie has fallen into the toilet. And I think that movie, I don't know that Honora would have as many people looking at it as a possible winner if that movie Emilia Perez hadn't had that Twitter revelation from a couple of weeks ago. Because I think they wanted to give, I think Hollywood wants to give those kinds of movies, it's a trans actress. It's like, what would that mean? So a trans, they're all actors because we can't say actor and actress anymore. So this makes it even more complicated. So a trans actor who is a woman winning what historically would have been known as the Best Actress. It's too much for my head. So yeah. So of course we don't dead name her. We don't say you were born a man, therefore you are in the best actor category. Whatever. She's walking around a woman. She's in a dress. She's got makeup on. She's the female category. There you go. That's how I'm willing to do. She's in a dress. Does she wear a dress in the movie? We're done. That's it, guys. I got nothing else. That's today's show. Sorry, I'm distracted by is there another plane incident going on? No, that's from yesterday. Peter says that the Golden Globes gave enough recognition to the Emilia Perez film. Yeah, because the Golden Globes were held before those tweets were revealed. That show has that movie has vanished. They're not even doing a traditional Oscar hype campaign for it. We've heard almost nothing about it. Everybody's walking away from that movie because of that lead actress, who turns out is a pretty shitty person. All right, Adam, what is Adam saying here? Adam says, what you're saying here is that it's, hold on. All right, here's Adam. Adam says, so you're saying it's like when Crash won the Best Picture because they wanted us to think we are in a post-racial country. Adam, that's interesting. That's a blind spot for me. I never saw Crash. It looked like a terrible movie, and I thought it was long, and I wasn't really interested in it. So I never saw. So I don't even really know what it's about. I don't know. Let's see, what else do we have here? Barney says what happened with Perez is that some people watched it. Well, that's not what happened. I think we know what happened. Because some people watched it before what happened, and those people got it a Golden Globe and, was the leading contender for the Oscars. And then what happened. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a bad. I don't know if it's a good. It's probably, it's probably a good. It's probably open-minded. If I just sat and watched the movie, I'd probably be like, okay, there's a story here, and I'm following it. And I'm interested in the story. You know what I finished yesterday? I'll tell you this. I finished 1,000 Blows on Hulu yesterday. 1,000 Blows. 6 episodes. Season 1 of 1,000 Blows. Woo! It was awesome. Like 2 nights, 6 episodes. I watched an entire season in 2.5 nights. Started on Monday night. Anyway, 1,000 Blows on Hulu is 1,000 Blows on Hulu and Say Nothing on Hulu are my two favorite shows of the last year. Or of this year. You know what? Let's say last year was Say Nothing. That was my favorite show. That was such a well done historical look at a subject that isn't really talked about very much in the mainstream. So that was Say Nothing. That was last year. Let's just go ahead and say it, that the early contender for best show of the year is 1,000 Blows. So badass. So cool. Stephen Knight is so great. Stephen Knight, creator of Peaky Blinders. He's so great. All right, that's going to do it. It's a good movie, very pandering. Adam says it's a good movie, very pandering. I don't know, is he talking about Amelia Perez? All right, you know what? I'm going to jump in here. I'm going to address some of these things because now that I'm scrolling back, I'm like, you people have said things and I may as well just address them. All right, let's see here. Peter. All right. Yeah. Peter says, Conan O'Brien's monologue should be awesome. I'm looking, that's something I like. I love Conan. Conan's not going to come out and be like real caustic and acerbic and all that. Conan's going to be goofy. Conan's going to be silly and he's going to be fun and Conan's good. Conan is a good choice. I like the idea of Conan hosting it. Al says, did you see Conclave yet? Yeah. Al, where you been? I love that movie. Oh, what are you talking about? Conclave is great, but I think you got to be Catholic. And that's okay, Al, because you're Catholic, just like me. Adam says, Honora was the front runner since June, and then it was maybe Wicked when he came out, but it's been all Honora since January. I liked Wicked, but it's not spectacular. I don't know. I mean, I guess this is all about what you're exposed to, because my understanding of it was that Honora wasn't even a movie that I'd heard of until like a month ago. So as far as it being a front runner, I mean, I do remember the Wicked talk. I remember Wicked and the Bob Dylan movie being, really big. These are going to win all the Oscars. And then there was, what else did I hear that about? The Brutalist, or the Brutalist is just going to check, those. But I really that's why I'm so excited about Honora, because I didn't know anything about it. I had seen the box cover, as I'm scrolling through the choices. I saw the box cover and it didn't appeal to me. I was like, because it looks like a trampy girl, like a hot stripper looking girl. Not in like a National Lampoon stripper show kind of way, but like in like a artsy, like, this is what it's like being a stripper. And I was like, I don't care. I really don't care what it's like being a stripper. I've been around and I've hung out with it. I know what. And then I watched it and I'm like, whoa, now this is good. Adam says he listens to the Big Picture podcast. So he probably gets all of his information pretty quickly. I listen to the Big Picture. What is that, a Christmas theme? What the fuck? So you guys know I love my Badass Eagle. I love my new Badass Eagle that I found. But here's the problem. Badass Eagle's only an hour. There's just an hour of Badass Eagle. Holy shit. Whoa. Breaking news. Hold on, guys. We got some breaking news. Need to check this out. Hold on, guys. Give me a second here. I'm just seeing a news story. All right, so this one's 3 hours ago. 3 hours ago, the New York Post broke this. I did not see it. Every other story is in the last 20 minutes. So I guess it's been confirmed and it's breaking wide. Michelle Trachtenberg is dead. Remember Michelle Trachtenberg? Well, I don't know. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Here, I'll show you some pictures of her. I'm trying to figure out what she died of or how she died. Or she's a young, pretty Gossip Girl, right? Wasn't she? She was on Gossip Girl. She's also in a bunch of movies. Hold on. I saw it. Here, this is her. And then we'll find out exactly what happened here. She's young, right? What is she like, 30? Or I don't know. Well, actually, I guess I'm old, so I guess I don't know how old she is. Let's see. She's not over 40. All right, actress Michelle Trachtenberg, a cute, good young actress. Young, she looks too young there. I'm looking at this. She looks really young. Okay, there you have her. She's dead. How the hell did she die? All right, here it is. Michelle Trachtenberg of Gossip Girl, and of course Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's the one that I know her from, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Michelle Trachtenberg. Oh, she's 39, so she was almost 40. Michelle Trachtenberg, Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Gossip Girl star, dies at 39 years old. Former child star and beloved millennial actor Michelle Trachtenberg, best known for her work on Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Gossip Girl, was found dead at her New York City home, police said Wednesday. She was 39. Police responded to a 911 call shortly after 8 a.m. at 1 Columbus Place, where officers observed a 39-year-old female unconscious and unresponsive. Paramedics pronounced her dead at the scene. There's no foul play suggested, and the New York medical examiner is investigating the cause of death. Trachtenberg appeared in 66 episodes of Buffy, playing Dawn Summers, the younger sister of the title character, played by Sarah Michelle Gellar. The beloved early 2000s show could be headed for a reboot. Trachtenberg said that she was always grateful for that role, writing to Gellar via social media in 2019. "You slayed too much to ever be anyone but Buffy. I'm happy to have been the chosen sister to your iconic role." Oh, that's nice. That's nice. The actor was also a fan favorite on 28 episodes of Gossip Girl. It says here, show creator Georgia Sparks says, "We are deeply saddened by the news of Michelle's passing. Michelle was so funny, kind, and talented," according to a joint statement. Her portrayal of George. Okay, so we don't know what she died of. She's a young woman, 39 years old, child star. I mean, let's start putting the pieces together, right? Child star, 39, career isn't really doing that great. She probably peaked when she was what, 20? No, probably peaked when she was 16, 17. All right, so now let's go to her Wikipedia page. I got to see Michelle Trachtenberg again, dead at 39 years old. Personal life. See, I like to go to the Wikipedia page to see if there's any crazy stuff. There's no personal life listed here. Like, was she arrested 5 times in the last 10 years? Is this a Lindsay Lohan kind of thing? Or, because I never really thought of her that way. Michelle Christine Trachtenberg was, oh, that sucks with Wikipedia when they get you with the was instead of the is. You always, when you read the Wikipedia page, you always want to see is an actress. You don't want to see was, and that's not good. Michelle Trachtenberg was an American actress. After beginning her career in TV commercials at the age of 3, she made her television debut and first credited role on Nickelodeon's series The Adventures of Pete and Pete. So you're going to go on to do Buffy, Gossip Girl. Let's see here. I'm looking for any kind of shit from her background that maybe is like, oh, she's into drugs. She likes drugs. I'm not seeing any reports of drug busts back in the early 2000s or anything. Career. There's no personal life. A star of her magnitude should have a personal life section on her Wikipedia page, and she doesn't. All right, here's what it says about her death on the Wikipedia page. Again, this is a Wikipedia death within an hour of her death being made public. So anything that I'm about to read to you here could be bullshit. You never, that's the problem with Wikipedia. It's like, if it's in the moment, like if someone dies and you go to their page and it's already got a thing about the death, take it with a grain of salt. Go back in 6 weeks and then read about it. That will be all the established, real stuff. You'll get a whole bunch of nonsense here. But here's what it says. So the death of Michelle Trachtenberg on Wikipedia, this was all written by somebody within the last couple hours. Trachtenberg was found unconscious and unresponsive by her mother. That's more information. In her New York City apartment at 8 a.m. on the morning of February 26th. A New York Police Department statement said, upon arrival, officers observed a 39-year-old female unconscious and unresponsive. EMS responded to the location and pronounced the victim deceased. Criminality is not suspected. She was 39 years old. ABC News reported she had undergone a liver transplant and possibly may have been experiencing complications, while noting local police were not investigating the death as suspicious. An autopsy reportedly will be performed to determine the exact cause of death. A year before her death, Trachtenberg had responded to comments on Instagram about her health, her weight loss, and eyes, which appeared to be jaundiced. Okay, I don't know if any of that's true, right? Because again, we take it with a grain of salt because it's Wikipedia within the hour of the person passing. But okay, we can put all that in our head. There's not being reported anywhere else that Michelle Trachtenberg had a liver transplant. And now she's dead at 39. See, that makes sense. Now I can move away. From, oh, she's obviously just a failed child star who got into drugs. And no, this, I wasn't aware that last year there was a big, her fans were like, you look skinny, you look sick, you look just so, okay. So God bless her. That sounds like a terrible thing. And like I say, the fragility of life, man. Beautiful 39-year-old actress, famous person, Michelle Trachtenberg, dead at the age of 39. Cause we don't know. We don't know what the cause is. All right, that's going to do it. I love you guys. I got to go now. But short of that, we'll be back here tomorrow at noon, right? All right. Thank you once again to our good friend Barney. Barney's our executive producer on today's show. If you want to be tomorrow's executive producer, be like Barney, if you will. All you got to do is had been the big tipper of today's show. Or just the tipper of today's show. It's not really that much of a contest. And if that's something you're interested in, all you got to do is drop a little something in the Pugs Cast or the Venmo. All right, guys, I love you. Thank you so much. We'll be back tomorrow at noon for Talk Radio for normal Americans, normal people. We're just yelling about stupid shit. We don't know what we're talking about. We sure as hell don't hold it against one another. We just roll our eyes and go, you're saying stupid shit again. Try to just work through life with that. When somebody says something that offends, don't be like, well, I've now deemed that person a trash human. No, just roll your eyes and go, we're all a little trashy. We all got some fucked up things. It's the only way we're going to make it. See you tomorrow at noon. Love you guys. Bye.